YouTube, starting 10 minutes early so I can actually get a wee bit of a jam going at the start. Hey Craig, how's it going? I'm 10 minutes early, but I was just sitting there waiting to start, so I thought I'd just start. Hey Daniel, oh, COVID man. Everyone seems to have it now. It's just not on the news, eh? Minutes to go. I'll start talking in 3 minutes. I kind of started early just because I was ready. 2 minutes. Best way, Craig, actually is just to do that. Basically, I'm just playing A. And a loop pedal. And then, so basically, I've just got all the fretboard, everything in A. And I just keep playing the same thing over and over again. And any mistake I make, I'll just play it again to make it sound like I meant it. I'll try this the cage thing. So. I want to play a C, and I want to play an A and C shape. C, D, E, F, G. I can't. It's either make a face or stick my tongue out. It's just trying to will the notes to be the right notes. 8 o'clock. So, lucky time. Hey YouTube. What's the right? So basically you playing solos for me, the loop pedal was just an absolute godsend. And I basically just put in Paranoid. So I was like and then just played on top of that. The first time I got the first loop pedal I had was just it was an Akai head rush before you really got loop pedals, and it only had one 20-second loop in it, something like that. It was actually an echo pedal, but I never used the echo part of it. And it just meant that my band just keeps going forever, and if I make mistakes, it doesn't stop. I don't have to have other bits. It just keeps doing the same thing over and over again, and basically just play it hours. For hours and hours and hours. Hey, welcome. Yeah, the weather was really nice today. Actually, I don't know. Was it yesterday? It was 16 degrees. So I went out to put the bin out, and it was like in my t-shirt, and it's like normally I go out and outside for the last however many months in a t-shirt, and it's like but that's totally fine. Not quite 16 degrees is kind of borderline for t-shirt weather. When I used to be a courier, I used to have these sort of combat trousers that you could zip the legs off, and the car I had at the time was a Vauxhall Astra, had a thermometer in the dashboard, and when it hit 17.5 degrees, that was my cut-off point where I would, at the next time I would stop and unzip the legs off so I was wearing shorts. Hey Kenneth, hey Rocket Ronnie, Edible Betty. And AC/DC vibes, Andrew. Yeah, that could very well. How's it going, your amp? I've very nearly fixed it. I was messing about with it today, so now you know the clean volume was scratchy. Now it isn't, and the master volume wasn't scratchy, but just oh damn it, just a wee bit scratchy. Basically, I just used tons of contact cleaner. So basically, tomorrow I'm going to take it to bits and just use the like hundreds of contact cleaner, like actually literally just like flushing it out, flushing out the dirt that's in behind that volume pot. But the amp is running and sounding fantastic. It's even make me play quite clean on the channel switch, which doesn't work. But I can put it on the preamp too. Not quite worked out how to use it yet. There you go, so I can change channel now. Yeah. Hello, use the bottle of bucky as a slide. I can't play slide, but I mean, actually, if I've already got that one note rhythm thing going. That's really dangerous to rip the top off. Ah! The worst situation. I always remember one time going the bucky shop, my pal Mo, and he walked outside, and the first thing he did as soon as we got outside the shop was the bag broke and the bottle smashed, and it was just like. So he kind of picked up a smashed bottle, put it in the bin, just went back in and bought another one. Like, oh. Hey Jeff, how's it going? Yeah, and this is, but it's not a live stream. There's no R in it. It's a live steam. It started off as a stream, and next week I'll be sober because I'm playing poker on Saturday night. I can't drink 2 nights in a row. That'd be too bad. Load pedal's dead easy. You basically just, I'll just reset it. You know, that was quite a good little. You basically just hit record when you're playing something. I was talking about playing Paranoid. Put on distortion for Paranoid. No, I used to rap it. So you just go. And it just keeps doing that forever. I just play solos over the top. Graças overdub, so. Like that. Like Brian May style. But you'll, once you get a loop pedal and you try and do that for the first time, you'll appreciate just how good Brian May is. Because as soon as you start layering it, once you get to, I can maybe get like the rhythm track and then maybe 2 leads if I work out what I'm doing. But any more than that, it just becomes a total madness. Yeah, made in Coatbridge. Actually, I got someone messaged me who sort of knew about it. So they were made in Glenrothes at the start, and then they moved to Coatbridge in 1992 was the article in the Herald. Tonewood amp, yeah, but solid state. I'm trying to get rid of my valve snobbery because I've just tubes, and it's like that actually sounds really good. I think the main problem with solid states amps is because tubes are better. Folk like me say that. Solid state amps were generally the really budget ones, so they didn't. If anybody made like an expensive solid state amp, they didn't sell, so they had to. If we were going to make an amp that was like 500 quid or something like that, if it's a solid state one, people will go, "That's not a solid state. I'm not buying it." Which is, I think, to be honest, is kind of what that was. Round about that era, sort of late 80s, early 90s, was when this thinking came in. So you just don't. The solid state was for cheap if you couldn't afford a valve. So they just made, because obviously if you're making like a wee 10 watt, 20 watt practice amp, it is cheaper to make it solid state. It's not practical to make them out of valves. So that's what everyone remembers as solid state. Oh, I used to have a solid state amp, it was crap. And it's like, well, it was a 10 watt Badger, you know what I mean? And then the Marshall I got, which was a 50 watt JCM 800, was much better. And I was like, of course it was. It cost 400 times as much. Yeah, Mr. White, Tonewood amp. Tonewood and basket weave. To be honest, I didn't know what it was when I bought it. I just I tapped there, I bought it off Andrew Coggins is on, so I don't know if you really expected me to be just sitting drinking a bottle of Bucky playing your amp, but you know, I'm serious most of the time. This is my drinking night. Hey, music is fun. How's it going? I was watching you're doing a series on basses just now. I'm watching that. Couldn't think of anything sarcastic to say, so I didn't comment. I should have. I think any comment just ups your helps the algorithm. Ah, my telly's gone off. Didn't notice that. It was a blatant plug for Super Chat. You don't hear anybody though. I have that Dean's Z79. Okay, is this going to... Ah! Now, who's an idiot? I am. I'm now down there. So I'm now using this camera. Right, so I need to look at this camera. Hold on. So that's why I should really... Right, hold on. So I've got to slide this back over. F11. Yeah, there we go. That was a close one. Ultimate panic there. Yes, I do have two webcams plugged in. Ridiculous. As fret buzz on the E string, altered truss rod and height seems to be the nut is worn on the thick E. Cut a piece of string off and put it in. It works. Yes, that happened. I'd never heard of that, but I took the pickups out my pal Scott's FGN and swapped them into his a Washburn Flying V, and I know when I took the strings off the Flying V, I noticed that there was a piece of string on the ground. I was like, oh, a bit of string on the ground. Okay, put it back up again. It was buzzing, and then it wasn't until after I'd strung it up. I thought that's what that piece of string was to stop it buzzing. You could do that. If it's a nice guitar, a Dean Z79, so I would just go and buy one on the. I bought one. Did I buy one yesterday? No, I didn't. I was going to buy one for my Luke Skywalker guitar, but I was looking up, and it was because it's a Yamaha. It was a 42mm, so I'd put in 40mm, and I was happy. That's maybe a little bit, and they were coming up. And I put in 42, and it just kept saying 42mm acoustic nuts because I think that's what acoustics are. 42, and a normal guitar's 44. I think. No, this is a 42. Yeah, but I know. But it wasn't like, see that kind of nut where you get like that. That's one thing to notice for. It's not that kind of nut. It's either that kind of nut or where was the one that I didn't fit? What guitar's got one? That's a bass, but that one. So there's two different types of nut. You get like that one, like just what you get in an acoustic, and then you get the one which is kind of slots in. So just make sure you buy the right one. But I think if you're going to buy one, if it's for your guitar, get like a Gravtech. It's not that they're not pure mega expensive. I was looking at one. There was a place, I think it was in America, that was selling mammoth bone ones. And I thought, it's from an extinct animal, mammoth bone, and I thought, okay, it wasn't cheap, but it was like 12 quid or something. It wasn't pure. You get 12 quid's worth of entertainment out of it, telling folk that mammoth bone nut. I want a mammoth bone nut. I don't know why, but I want one, obviously. Hey, Stevie Mac. Then you script that for a breakfast. I don't know where you can get it because I built a cabinet where you can't see it. It's in below this amp. And the first thing it's made out of even more tonewood. It's made of Piranha pine. It does say pine in it, and you think, oh, pine, IKEA pine. No, it's actually a type of mahogany, I think. Parana, P-A-R-A-N-A, and it's just been banned from harvesting forever. I got it. It used to be a staircase in my granny's house. And then in 1975, she moved to our new house and made shelves out it. And then about 10, 15 years ago, me and my dad did up our house, and I kept those shelves and made a speaker cabinet and a Flying V out of the piranha pine, but it's pure mega endangered and has been since the 40s, so you just don't get guitars made of piranha pine or speaker cabinets. It looks pure amazing. It's the Victorians loved it because it's the best type of wood for taking nails, apparently. But I tried to get the basket weave front, but I didn't know what it was called and I couldn't find it, so I was going to make it on that. I should really dig that cabinet out. Really silly using it. Hey Taylor, how's it going? Oh, that's what I was going to do before I get done. I was going to look at my Yamaha AEX, which is a sort of, because you bought that Yamaha. What was it? An AEX 500. It's kind of like a big Les Paul shape, but it's like a thin line big Les Paul with a flat top with many humbuckers in it. And I bought it because it was really cheap, thinking I'll flip that. And it was like, as soon as I played it was like, yes, whoa, what? I did not expect that. My biggest surprise guitar, I think, ever. Maybe borderline with my Wild West Sweethearts guitar, which is it stuff sitting on top of. It doesn't. This, my pal Ronnie gave me this as a joke. And I thought, oh God, that's awful. I actually really like it. So this was a real surprise. I was really expecting this to be absolutely horrendous and on Facebook that night. But the wee acoustic, I kind of like it. It's so hideous. It's like, well, look at it. Look at that. Who thinks that? Who thought that was a good idea? The thing that got me was like, it's really bad. And then you look at it, you go, oh, look, it's like the girls are shooting horseshoes, and it says bang on it. It just gets worse the more you look at it. It's like, gets to the point of it's so bad. I like it. But the actual guitar, I really like. I really like the size. You know, just being small body, but still a decent shape. Yeah, no, don't worry, Andrew. It will be getting used. It looks fantastic. No, it sounds amazing. As soon as you plugged it in your driveway, it was like, I'll just stick. It was that guitar they actually brought in. And it was like pure. As I just plug it in, it was just like pure tring sold. It was like pure. It sounds so much bigger than it is. So, and I think it's 100 watt, but I mean, it doesn't sound like. Obviously, it weighs a fucking ton. Really, I mean, it's quite funny. Your pick of my TV is funny, but perfect pick of my phone. I don't think I did change my. Is it focusing? No, I think the autofocus is on. Maybe if I stand a bit further back. I've lost my pick. I did change my. Someone was complaining about the autofocus thing on my camera because it's sunny just now. It's like pure. Oh, it can't handle the daylight, so I've got it on fixed focus, but that's only in the camera app that I use to record the videos. This is a different thing. It's the same camera, but this is me doing it via YouTube. Yeah, all Yamahas are good. As you said earlier on, it's like Ibanez 80s. This is an 81 Blazer. It's in the 82 catalogue. Blazer. They're fantastic. Talking about nuts. I know what the problem is, Rocket Ronnie. It's like, see, if you just drink more Bucky, your eyes will automatically compensate for the fuzz, and it'll be fine. Hey, B, how's it going? Good day. Does that mean you're Australian? I think it might actually. I'm terrible at names. Sorry if I forget everyone's name. Like when folk come around, I seem to have a mental block for names. I can't remember anyone's name ever. Videos this week: homemade pedal board, scores an old amp, Octoblaster telly, old video on the Decimator. The Decimator is the guitar that I said was made out of that piranha pine. That's actually in Taiwan just now with Civet. It does more than the Octoblaster because 10 coils, not 8. So that's why it's decimeter. See, clever. But it's the way I wired that as one pickup, and then there's 10 on-off switches. So that was why it was decimated. So it was basically one pickup that you could cut 10% off every time you turned off a switch. But so it didn't really do anything normal, whereas the Octobaster was like, it just worked like a normal guitar, but it had a silly thing where you pulled the pot out and it made it do that. That sold in a day. I actually sold to the same guy that I bought the Sakai off me. But that was an early one, G'day, that was before I realised you could get cheap guitars that were good. I just assumed, like I think a lot of people do, that if you're starting off, your £100 guitar or whatever, or anything under £100 is going to be crap. So you can learn on that sort of. And then once you were jamming with other people, you needed to get like an Epiphone or a Squire, like a £300 guitar. And then that was fine for jamming with other people and then going into the studio for the first few times. And then by the time you were gigging, you had to get the Gibson or the Fender. Well, that was a Gibson when that was a thing. And it wasn't. And then I decided that I couldn't afford any more guitars. Had my Gibson SG, got the real electric guitar, had a £400 bass, like the Schecter. It's like $430. Still the most expensive bass guitar I've ever bought. And that's the second most expensive guitar I've ever bought. And then I got a Hondo and cash converters just because I liked the look of it for 40 quid, 30 quid. It was 30 quid. And because I remember saying to the guys up here, like, hey, would you take 20 quid for it? So I've only just put it out there 10 minutes ago. You can't have it for 30. It's like, you've priced it really well, because at 40 quid I would have walked it away. At 20 quid I would have bought it. So 30 quid I'm thinking about it. So I went outside, had a fag, and bought it. And then once basically the nut was hanging off it, once I'd super glued the nut back on again, it was like, this is a real guitar. And then what is this Hondo? It was like a telly with a pointy headstock. Pure hideous, but it was a real guitar. I'm like, right. And then started finding real guitars for cheap. Hey, Macaroon, you get the Brona as well. That's Thingy's got it. The first guy on, Daniel, has it as well. The singer in the Black Sabbath band, our Aussie, has it, and my pal Andy and my pal are a band, they're called Lederwurst, which, being German music is fun, will know this. So that'd be a Lederwurst. Is that not like a leather sausage? Yeah. So the band is called Leather Sausage. But there you go. And Andy knocked over Craig's guitar and it's now buzzing. So he's like, I fix it. I was like, but you still having a jam on a Wednesday? Pop down. He's like, no, the other guitarist has the Rona. So that's 2. That's 4 people I know that have got it. So there's no over yet. Hey, Scott, how's it going? That video we did with looking up crap on Facebook Marketplace, which we never really got very far through, but as I kind of turned it off, like, because my back was hurting after we'd been on for an hour. But we need to do that again because a lot of people watched that. And I think it's probably quite interesting for folk who live elsewhere, because we're looking at, cheap guitars or stuff on Facebook Marketplace or eBay. We never even got to eBay. And everyone's like, Blacktooth Fox, those happen to go for much more down here. And I never really thought about that geographically. It's like he said, it was what did we skip past? It was a Fender Champion, not the 100 one that you mentioned. There was a 110, it was a 10 watt or a 20 watt one. He said it's been amazing, and it was at a quarter of the price it should have been. That's what they sell for down in the New Forest, wherever that is, down the south coast somewhere. You take it back to Australia. I'd like to see your excessive baggage on that. I used my luggage. In fact, I actually know that because I bought a luggage scale so I could weigh guitars just for a laugh, and it was really difficult to weigh, because really the only way to lift it up with a handle was to have it on the ground and lift it like that, and then you can't see what the luggage thing says. So I was kind of sitting there, I was like, and it comes in at 24 point something kilograms, and maximum baggage weight's 25. I know that because I tried to bring back a big pile of guitars from China, and Civet's bathroom scales said it was 25, but bathroom scales are meant for they're accurate between sort of 80 and 112, whatever it is. They're not really meant for measuring you standing with a a suitcase, and I actually had to stand at the customs in Shenzhen airport, and it was up here. Yeah, is that up here? You're overweight. Up here, right? Can I pay extra money? No. Oh shit. Right. Luckily, Civic gone to the toilet. I was like, up here standing. Just give me 2 seconds, and I started going backwards. I was like, "Give me here, come back." I was sitting there with the bag like that. Took a guitar body and a guitar neck out, handed to Civic. Civic's like that, right? It's up here. Still too much. Like, no, right. Another neck, right? No, another neck, and that put it down to 26 point something. And he went, okay. So, yeah, you wouldn't be able to get it to Australia. It would be your entire baggage allowance. A Roadstar 502 P90s SA500. Yeah, it's like once you get up to the 500 range, they're amazing. But even the lower ones are great. And saying that, I've got one that I'm fighting with just now. Hey, Graham. I'll just say hello to people. Hey, Nico D's SBC. Yeah, Taylor, I still hate you a wee bit for getting that. But I mean, to be honest, I would have probably kept it for 6 months, and then I would have realised that I would never have played it. I would just have flipped it. So I'm glad somebody that's going to use it's got it. Because I was honestly thinking, oh, cash converters, you can haggle there. There was the thing going through my head saying, I'll just drive down to Kilmarnock at 9 a.m. and, haggle. It's like cash, 120 quid or 100, whatever it was. It didn't work. Yeah, the Roadstars are great. They're kind of weird looking. I don't really know. They're kind of their own thing. I think the Roadstar, I think they might have did a bit of a winner with that. And there's not a huge difference between the 500 and what's the next one up? The 700, because the guy I bought I traded from a Strat had the two of them, and I think the 7 was it the 5 and the 900 or something like that, and it was like the 500 didn't have as much binding on it, and I think the 700 had more binding, a fancier looking top, and a Bigsby perhaps, something like that. One of them was P90, one of them was a humbucker, and there wasn't really any difference between the two apart from looks. So I mean, the 500 is just like you're just getting a pure cracking guitar. Oh, yeah. Jeremy, have one question: are cheap pedal makers Moore and Donner more likely to fail? The honest answer is yes. The sockets on them are pretty shit. I've got a. Well, this is a Mosky, which is it's called a Black Rat, but I'm pretty sure you can get this exact pedal with a different color with a different name on it. And the sockets are pretty crap. They're not very they're just not very responsive. And they kind of get to that, but when you push it in and it clicks, they do when you get it, but after a while they kind of don't click anymore. Because I mean, obviously these times that was 12 quid. That was why I bought it. It was like a rat pedal for 12 quid. That can't be right. Brand new from China. But the actual circuit's exactly the same. So the actual circuit won't fail. And the switches are just the standard switches. There's not really anything you can do. Actually, it's the same with my Delamo on my pedal board. I'll just show you my pedal board there, which consists of a tuner and a thing. And I had to put a switch on it because I've noticed that they're not... normally with a pedal, these don't run on batteries because they're too small to take a battery. So because of that way, they managed to save 5 pence by not putting in the stereo input. So these don't turn off when you take the battery out, when you take the lead out. Because why would you? You have to run it on power, so why would you make that? So I had to put a switch in it. But the sockets on this are a bit shit as well. But I mean, saying that, panel mount, if you can do any soldering, swapping over a jack socket's not beyond you. If you can do it in a guitar, you've got 2 wires going onto them, or just like 2 wires, and it's like as long as you get them the right way around, that's all it is. Probably a couple of quid. Maybe any recommendations for a decent and reasonable set of Strat style pickups? A wee SX. Are the SX pickups not good? Because I had an SX. was a Strat, and it's one of those things I'll put other pickups in it. The pickups in it were actually pretty good. But yeah, Iron Gear, Warman, Wilkinson. Just have a wee look and see if you get them second hand. Or sometimes you can pick up pickups really cheap. You might be able to get like Mexican Fender ones or something like that, because people, well, maybe not, because people would obviously buy Mexican Fender ones to put in their Squire. And then they would sell the Squire ones, and the Squire ones are going to be the same as what's in your SX. But yeah, it kind of depends what kind of pickups you want as well. Because I mean, I'm playing this just now. Right, this has got the original Ibanez pickups. These are called Super Sixes, which are very, very high output. Super, according to the original brochure, they're the most powerful pickups you can buy. That were manufactured in 1982, including the aftermarket brands. I.e., these are like DiMarzio's, apart from more powerful. So because I already had this guitar, a month later or something like that, I got the Fender, and the pickups in it, someone had swapped the scratch plate out, or like they'd bought like your Chinese ones, so they were the cheapy ones, the cheapy pots and stuff. And I was thinking, well, I've got a Fender Strat, the first Fender Strat, so I'd been sort of hoarding expensive pickups when I'm buying, like projects and stuff to do up. And sometimes you would buy a guitar from the 80s and they would put a Fender pickup. So I was like, I'll have the Fender pickup out of that, put a normal pickup in. So it's got really low output pickups. So this guitar is different from this one, even though they're both kind of Strats. But so you usually got to decide whether you want the lower output ones, which are much more glassy and much better at the cleans, or the higher output ones like this, which can do a bit more of their Iron Maiden-y type stuff. But that would still be the case if you go to Iron Gear or Warman or Wilkinson. It won't just be, I'll have Strat pickups. They will have vintagey type Strat pickups, which would be more kind of like that. I mean, that's got an original 74 Fender pickup in the neck, a lace sensor in the middle, and I replaced the DiMarzio I had in the bridge because I didn't like it with a 1987 Japanese Fender one, and now it's just perfect. But half the output of this, but to make some two different guitars. So decide whether you want the low output ones or the high output ones. 600 quid to take you up to Australia. There you go. If you're in Australia, look at Washburns. These, or maybe not these, but more like this one. Because there's a lot of these go for quite cheap in Australia. They sold it, I don't know, depends where the distributor was. These seem to be only really be in Europe and Australia. If you can find one of these are absolutely amazing. Will absolutely knock the pants off any Gibson Les Paul, and it'll be a quarter of the price, less than that. So have a look at these if you're thinking about buying a guitar. I don't know much about amps. I assume the Australians probably built amps, made amps as well. What was the best year for Gibson SGs? I don't know. How many? 61? It could very well be. The one I want, I was going to have an idea on actually having a topic for tonight, but I just started talking crap anyway. Spike the likes. It does help me out. It puts me up in the algorithm. The guitar one, actually, the Trade Centre in Glasgow has one. It's $2,000, which is a lot of money, but it's a 68 or a 69 SG Special or SG Junior, basically the one that Tony Iommi had, but for look at one pickup. That's the one I quite fancy. But I have played quite a lot of SGs, and mine's, you can't actually see what the serial number is, but there was a time when the SG Special had like an ebony fingerboard, and that's in that time. I think it's like 1988 to 94 or something like that. It's in there somewhere, but the serial number, you can sort of see it, but the paint wasn't very good, so it was kind of sunk into the serial number, so it was dead hard to read, and then I snapped the headstock off it and spray painted it red, so now you can't read the serial number at all. Yeah, XXXX Paps, how's it going? Yeah, Francis, have a look at Warman pickups. I like that guy. Earlier on I was talking about the reason I like Warman. I like him anyway, but I had this mad idea with the Decimator guitar, the one with the 10 pickups on it, or the quad, a dual and a quad. I had this mad idea of wiring them all together, making it one pickup, putting switches in it, and I asked online, And I was told by many guitar techs that it was completely impossible. That stupid thing to do. The strings won't move. You'll have no sustain. And Josie Warman said, that sounds mental. Do it. I don't know how. I don't know exactly how to do it, but it can be done. Hence Mad Malcolm Guitars. If Josie hadn't said that, I might not have started doing stupid wiring. Like the whole idea, why not? Because he was like, up here, yeah, why not do that? I don't know what it'll sound like. It might not sound good, but it will. It can be done. I don't know what I don't know how the wiring would work. And it was like, so I worked it out and drew it out and talked to him. It was great. Yeah, that SA500 is ridiculous. Surprised it's Japanese. I think the reason it was done, I looked up the SA500. Well, it depends when it was, I suppose. You've got the Mosky Super Rat. Yes, I don't think I've seen the Mosky Super Rat. There was one that I was looking at. The reason the Mosky came up was it like is it called a bear or something like that, which I think is probably similar to the one you're talking about. And that one was just one where you're sitting there and I was like, I wonder what the cheapest pedal is, and it was like, what? How much? Because my Rat pedal annoyingly didn't run off the Boss style input jack. You know, it took like what looked like a headphone socket and it was flipped round, so it needed its own crappy wall wart thing, and it was really noisy. So I put, for the same price as actually modding it, I could just have bought the Mosky Rat and it sounded great. Espodo Komodo, that's still a fantastic name. Wilkinson do both vintage 60s and super hot single coils. Yes, so do Warman. I know that they do Texas, not Texas specials, Texas triple hots or something like that. I think they might even be less than 30 quid. I think they're like 20 quid. And to be honest, I think they might be the same. They might be made in the same place, to be honest. And Warman is a guy who pretty much runs it out his garage, I think. So they maybe be a bit cheaper for exactly the same thing. I'd be tempted to go for the Warman ones. And it depends. Some people don't like the fact that it says on the pickup what it is they are. You know, if it says Wilkinson or Warman, I think the Warman ones, they certainly used to be just a sticker, so you could peel that off and just have, so you're not advertising the fact that you've got other pickups on it. A 63 Junior in the Trade Centre. Yeah, I think, to be honest, it would have to be the double pickup one. I'm not spending $2,000 on a guitar, but the SG, the Tony Iommi one, basically, or the Tony Iommi and Pete Townsend at the Isle of Wight one, 2P90s SG special. Quite fancy that. The best SG must be the one Angus uses. Well, I won on Rock Radio, which used to be a Glasgow radio station when I was working in Balfron. There was a competition to win tickets to go to the Kelvin Hall and see the AC/DC exhibition, which was called the Family Jewels, something like that. And it was like an exhibition that had gone all around Australia. And it had done really well. And then they thought, well, because, you know, an Australian band, it's like, well, they're kind of from Glasgow. Let's go to Glasgow as well. So I went to that. Actually, I won it it was me and another guy, two of us, like on the phone, on the radio. She had to sing a song. And I was like, up here, right, we'll do Thunderstruck. I'll do the rhythm part and you do the lead part, like on the radio. So I went, and the other guy went, and everyone was pissing themselves laughing. It was like 30 seconds of dead air when the DJ was laughing after that. So I went to that, and they had one of Angus's guitars, which had a bent neck, so it had been retired, and it was that guitar, but black, ebony fingerboard. It wasn't a high-end standard. It was a special from, I can't remember what tour it was from the 91 tour or something like that. So that's the one Angus uses, or that's the one Angus used at that era. Hey, Tam! You ever buy any semi-acoustic or Carbonita tellies? And what's the hottest pickup you would fit? Well, I did. I bought what was it called? A Mighty Motherbucker one time, and it was 22k. And I put it, which is like ridiculous. I mean, a normal humbucker, like a DiMaggio Super Distortion, is like 8k or something like that. But sometimes you get modern ones that are maybe like 12's kind of not pure ridiculous, 16's kind of the hottest you can get. This thing was 22, and I put it into my Kramer, which I'd built an aluminium scratch plate for and cut the hole out myself. And when I was screwing the pickup in, I hadn't cut the hole quite big enough, and it basically just scraped all the wires off one side of one of the bobbins of the pickup, so I never actually got to hear the pickup. But that Octoblaster came out it was basically, okay, it was 8 coils, but they were all wired together in series as one pickup, was 30 and 4K ohms resistance. So that's the biggest pickup I would fit. Although the decimator must be more than that because it's got an extra 2 coils, so it must be 40K, the biggest pickup you can get, which is basically like, imagine having a boost pedal and a mattress to put in front of your amp. So it's like a doubling the volume of your amp and then putting a pillow in front of it. It's like really ridiculous. 200, yeah. I'll take a look at Washburn. Have a Fender Blues Junior out there. Oh, they're pretty good. Yeah, I mean, there's not a. It's the same. So your law of diminishing returns. Yes, your bare knuckles and your Seymour Duncans are better than your Warmans. They are, but they're also like, they're not 10 times. They're 8 times the price. 10, and they're, it's like you get your crap pickups. You know what I mean, like here, and then your Seymour Duncans or your bare knuckles and stuff are here. The Warmans are sort of here. Do you know what I mean? They're 90% of the way there, kind of thing. And it's, if you've got, I mean, ultimately, if you've got like a £2,000 guitar, you're not going to put £17 or whatever it is, £25, whatever it is it costs for a set of Warmans in a $2,000 guitar. You want to spend more money, and that's kind of how they get you. Well, it's the same idea with that, but I put all the expensive pickups I had in that Strat just because the sound difference is not massive, but it is just that wee bit. It's like, just that wee bit more is just quite difficult to get. Emmy's semi-acoustic. I don't really get semi-acoustic guitars. I don't like them very much. The only one I've ever kept is the Yamaha one I was talking about, which is a sort of, it's kind of like a jazz bot. It's a jazz guitar or something, but it really works. I really like that. Because it's got the mini humbuckers, it distorts so early. You can, well, maybe not with this amp because it's super clean, but with the wee tube amps, it's like my clean channel. You just need the slightest hair of distortion. It starts sounding pure like a fuzz pedal. It's pure amazing. It totally decks out. You can't use, like high gain. It just goes, fuck off, I'm not doing that. But it's like that whole idea of it just being the sort of clean, blah, like P90s, where you just get, suddenly it's just, and it's like you add more gain, it just, nothing else happens. It's kind of like that, which is a bit difficult. Putting vintage Vantage single coils in the Saturday Night Special, Fasley, 6.8 to 7.5. Yeah, there's more. The thing about the ohms rating, if you look up the Warman site, he explains it. The ohms doesn't. What that tells you is how much wire there is on it. It doesn't tell you what the output of the pickup is. So you can get ones. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, see, DiMarzio Super Distortions, they are pure byte. That's what's basically an all. Well, that's a bass, but these are copies of DiMarzio Super Distortions. They're not super high ohms. They're like 8.5K or something like that. But blow your head off. And then it's because of the type of magnet and the type of wire as part of that thing as well. The K rating doesn't necessarily mean more powerful or more distorted or better sounding. So it's Henry's is the thing you want to work out. You want to work them on. That tells you the actual output of the pickup. But Henry's, you don't get like a multimeter that gives you Henry's. You have to take things and do a calculation and shit to get it. Maton are nice. I had a shot of a kind of like a 335 Maton. This thing was manky, absolutely stinking. But see, just and the sound, the strings on it, the guy had bought it 12 years previous. If you look at my videos, you'll see it. And it's like, but it was horrible. And I was like, it just looks shit. But as soon as you played it, we're like, this has something, and these strings are awful. but that was an amazing guitar. It was so light. It was so light. It was and a fantastic guitar, the Matrons. Nobody knows what they are over here. So if you can find one in the UK, they're great. The one I had was like from, I don't know. It wasn't mine. I didn't want to fix up. It was 65 or something like that. It was like early 60s. But this thing, it kind of looks like that wee Sakai I had. It looked like a sort of Japanese 70s catalog guitar, but it was pure amazing. It also had the best pickup selector. It was kind of in below the Les Paul type scratch plate, but it was a big lever. So it was like pure, yes, neck, middle. It was like, it was a way out here somewhere, so you're moving this gear stick, pure ka-chunk, ka-chunk, to change the pickups. Amazing. Yeah, Mr. White, the Mormons are the shits. The shits? No, they are the shits. That pickup, actually, that one, it's in the sword type guitar, is the same pickup that's in my Gibson SG. It's called, I don't think they make it anymore, it's called a Destroyer, something like that. And basically that's what it is. I couldn't believe how similar it sounded, and that guitar's made out of a bit of kitchen worktop, but the bridge pickup sounds the same as the Gibson SG. Link for the Super Rat, yeah, stick it up. I kind of had I had an issue with my Rat pedal where I decided I was going to mod it. So I put a switch in it, like a 9-pole switch, so it had a light on it. The original Rats don't have a light, and that worked fine. And then the switch that I'd used was actually the switch from a pedal that I'd bought that had a dodgy switch. So I bought a new switch for that, put it in, and then ended up using that switch in the Rat. So it's like every time if you go back my videos about a month, you'll see me try to turn off the Rat, and it's kind of like, sort of tapping it, trying to get to turn off. So it was sort of intermittent. So what I did was I took it out, and then while I was in there, I changed the power socket to take the Boss adapter properly, and then I put it in, and then I'd broken it. I was like, oh. And what had happened was I'd put the switch in at a 90-degree angle to what it should have been. So like on a switch, you get 9 poles, like dunk, dunk, dunk. And what it does is it connects, this pole, well, if you imagine this is 2 rows and there's another one below it, it connects, this one to this one, this one to this one, this one. But I'd put the switch in like that. Or no, I'd put the switch in like that, and it was actually meant to be like that. So instead of connecting this to this, it was connecting this. Now it's working. Last year I picked up a Gibson Angus Young Black Cherry SG with lightning bolt inlays. Nice. And the signature on the truss rod cover. Dude, I got off and already ripped out the pickups, so they're still Gibsons. If you get that, the thing is, Gibson pickups, actually, there's a guy selling them, which I didn't think were that expensive for, I think it's 90 quid. There's a guy in Facebook Marketplace. And the 498s. It may be different from, but they're good. The problem with the Gibson things is it's like there's no standard. I don't mean there's no Les Paul standard. The Gibsons, I've had Gibsons that were really good, and I've had Gibsons which were absolutely like totally like instead of going to a guitar manufacturer, what they'd done is they'd obviously somebody that made other wooden things, shelves or something. Oh, we can make a guitar, and it was really absolute guff, absolutely awful. And they both kind of look the same from the distance, so it's like it is a gamble. If you've got a chance to play it, that's why anyone ever asks if you're buying a guitar off AliExpress, you're paying like £100 for the guitar and then £100 to get it delivered. They know you're not going to send it back, so they might just send you a shite one, and you don't know which company it is that's sending it. So it is. But if you've got one that's already here and you can go and play it, you can get a belter. I had a belter at Les Paul. I got off a guy in Stirling. It was cream on the back. It was that kind of cream on the back and on the back of the neck, and the top it was like a natural maple thing, and this thing was amazing. It's a pity it said Gibson on it, it's like, so it was just a fake, and then so that one was like better than any Epiphone I've ever played. And then I had another one where a guy, I bought tuning pegs off him, something like that. I bought like go-top pegs off him for like 15 quid or 20 quid. He's like, do you want a Gibson Les Paul? I got it in the post. and the neck was snapped. Basically, it disconnected from the body because it'd been badly packed. I was like, to be honest, no. It's like, is that a pair for not even for a tenner, or like, maybe even been a fiver? And it's like, for a fiver, hi, okay. So I was easily able to clamp it up, but this thing was fucking awful. I think I sold it for 60 quid or something fixed. It was just awful. Kind of crazy. Hot pickups are probably a bit more versatile if you turn down volume guitar and use volume on the amp to compensate to get clean sounds. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe. Sort of. It depends how it is you're working. I mean, I'm normally... See, I can't get this guitar, although this is a hot one, to sound like that Strat. Just by turning it down. It's not as simple as that. I get what you're saying, but it's not as simple as that, because the hotter pickups can take a lot more gain. So if you're running a Mesa Boogie or something and you're trying to play Metallica, they will take much more gain than any of these guitars. These guitars can't really do that. Whereas if you're running them through like a rat pedal, that will just be that's as high as it goes, but they'll distort really, really early. Whereas you lose definition if you go higher. So it kind of depends where you're going. Because I like the early breakup you get with the vintagey type pickups. Whereas I'm not really using that much gain, and I'm only using one pedal at a time, sort of thing. And I could get it to be pure saturated and what I want. The problem is if you try and go beyond what I'm going for, which is like, I don't know, maybe the Stone Satisfaction is the heaviest I would ever go type thing. But if you're trying to get Metallica, you need more oomph, because if you just pile on the gain, they just turn to mush. Pretty much all my guitars probably do that. The Henrys, yeah, we're talking about Henrys. But Henrys isn't a thing yet. That's not a trigger warning. Whereas Tonewood's obviously a trigger warning. Whoa. Anyone that fought with one of their Moore pedals, mine died after 3 years. Do I even have it? I don't think I've ever had any Moore pedals. I think I don't know, maybe the chances are, I doubt it's the circuit that's burst. It's either one of your input jacks or perhaps the power socket has, maybe because it's a cheap power socket, if you're plugging it in and plugging it out, it might break it, sort of thing. Or possibly the volume pots type thing, because a circuit's a circuit. It's not going to do anything. It's just a copy of anything else. Stratocaster one, I've never bought a guitar without playing it first. I've bought hundreds, but I'm in a slightly different situation because I can fix them, and I kind of know. I mean, I know what these sort of guitars are, your Washburns and stuff. I know that it's absolute top shelf from certain eras. They are. It's like, and it can be made to be fixed if it doesn't work, and I can fix it myself. It's a completely different ballpark if you don't know, if you can't fix it yourself. But yeah, the thing is, it's like, I always buy things really at the low end of what they're worth anyway. So say a guitar's worth between 200 and 400 quid. I'll buy it at 200 quid. If I don't like it, I know that I'll be able to get 300 and still sell it cheap, sort of thing. So it's just a case of knowing what it is you're looking for. And I really should move on to doing your Fender Mexicans and all that stuff. I'm not really that impressed with those guitars, but I know that they're worth more money. I know that a Fender Mexican's worth more than most of these ones. Do you know what I mean? And these are better than the actual Fenders, but it's like they're not worth as much money. So it's like I kind of struggle getting enthusiastic about it. Got a guitar in a car park. One seems legit. I bought. I was talking about the Yamaha AEX earlier on. I bought that, and it was a Godin, which had fucked frets, but I fixed it. And they were both pure ridiculously priced. I think it was like 80 quid and 70 quid. That was 80 and 70 quid. And because I was buying both of them, the guy brought them to meet me at the Showcase Cinemas, just out in towards Uddingston, or on the M8. The guy met me, and it felt pretty dodgy. I was like, up here, yeah, these up here great. I was like, up here, right? I was up here. Would you take 150 for the two? And the guy looked at me like that. Aye. Because that was what he was asking for. My My head was up arse at the time. I made a mess of it. At least I didn't offer him more than he was actually asking for, but he was asking for 80 and 70, which is 150. And I was like, if I take both of them, will you take 150? The guy's like, up here. Uh-huh. Idiot. 100% Nico. I bought a new guitar past week. Both my other guitars are heavy humbuckers. Yuga's a lot lighter pickups. Yes, I think so. But that's for my wee, what's it called? My wee shitty pedal, which is my best, the best fuzz pedal I've ever had. I did a thing called Fuzz Thursday where I borrowed tons of pedals, and I think I must have done, what, 30? At least 20 fuzz pedals. And that one's my favourite out of all of them. It's a shitey one, but it very much depends on what amp it is you're using and what guitar it is, what you're wanting out of it. But yeah, lightweight pickups, fuzz pedal, or even that like that wee Sakai I sold during the week there. I love the fuzz pedal. I actually saw someone advertising it, a very similar guitar as a fuzz guitar. You know, really low output, jangly pickups into one of those, like a fuzz face type thing. Pure amazing, but stick it into, like, I don't even, you know, like a sort of a dual rectifier Metallica. I keep saying Metallica, but you know what I mean, like sort of thrash metal type pedal. It doesn't compute. It just goes no. Whereas a shit fuzz pedal really cranks up. I mean, this one, for example, won't sound as good through that fuzz pedal as lightweight sounds a bit, you know, those are fucking expensive pedals. Pickups. Each one of those pickups, okay, not the bridge pickup anymore, but it's probably worth more than the average of all my guitars. If you take the average of all the guitars I've got, one of those pickups is probably worth kind of that sort of money. Get crazy. I thought my fuzz was bad. It just depends, but I think it kind of works with the amp as well. I mean, I found that, see, now being on solid state, because look at that amp, man. Whoa. The pedals do different things to that. Because I was running, my main amping for in here has been a 15 watt Laney tube one. And it reacts differently to different pedals. So it's like basically when you move on to like a solid state, well, okay, that's not the same size. It's 100 watt, but you need to EQ the pedals and do different things to get the same sound. It's kind of weird. Yeah, sure, it's either the socket or the jacks in the mirror. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll buy it off you for a tenner. What kind of, I can't remember what kind of pedal it was you said. I'll have a go at fixing it. Yeah, I'm sure it's either the socket or the jacks in the mirror. And you bought a Fortin Zool. I mean, again, one of the things that always gets me about pedals is having a really cool graphic and the right name is paramount, you know, and it's like you're talking about Zool. So it's like, there is no Dana, only Zool. It's like, already I don't even know what a fucking Zool is. Doesn't matter, I want one. So it's all about naming it. And the same with the first fuzz pedal I bought, which was a Gojira Effects. And it's like, you know, like it's through next door. I picture a Terminator, Arnie from the first film, standing there with his, you know, the Terminator poster, and his eyeball was the red LED. So it's actually purple, which is annoying. I need to swap it over at some point. And it was, his eyeball was the LED, and it was just like, I'd buy that. How much is that? It was a special offer. It was like 30 quid. Like, buy. Maiden Largs, buy. Then it was like, I'd already bought it. It was like, what kind of pedal is it? So that's a fuzz. All right, fuzz, cool. I was buying it anyway. So getting the name right. If he wants to finish in his dryer cover, is it my first attempt at a dip thing? I think it is actually my first attempt. It didn't work. I bought this guitar super cheap. I'm using a really cheap rig tonight. This is my under £100 for gigging, basically, and that includes Bucky, the leads to connect the guitar to the amp, a kebab, and fags. It's an Ibanez Blazer, but this one had been painted in the 80s with gloss blue paint. Looked fucking shite. So I had to start, and the original finish had been taken off, so I had to do something with it, and I figured I'll try that hydro painting thing. So I just sprayed. I got a big bucket out in the back garden, sprayed spray paint out at the top and dunked it in, and then it went all lumpy and started falling off, and it was like, huh. I dunked it in, totally didn't work, hung it up, and I was like, oh, it looks crap, and then I gave it a bit of a scoosh with the neon paint, and it ended up looking like this, and so like kind of all the stuff stuck on the bottom, like, and this is pure 3D. It's just like sort of brown lumps, and then I hung it up, and because I bought this guitar really cheap and I'd never played it because it was in terrible condition, so when I'd taken the body and then painted it, I cleaned up I polished the bridge. It's a solid brass bridge on this. It's a bit, you'll see it there. Brass block. I mean, this is, if you were to buy this bridge now, 150 quid, 200 quid just for the bridge, sort of thing. And then the super tap pickups and all that. It's just everything on it's just absolute top level. But I decided that I need to play it. So I figured that by failing at the dip finish, I could just sand it and paint it again easily. So I just gave it a quick lacquer coat, put it back together again, played it, and then decided I liked it. It's like, it's different. I'm quite glad. I'm glad I did it though. Hi, Jez. How you get premium? Giving me a $5. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say. Cheers, Gordon, for this week's bottle of Bucky. Gordon's the guy who had the Antoria Les Paul that I changed the pickups in, and he actually, I've got a video coming up. I might put it up tonight. I'll put it up tomorrow night, where he's taken the videos I did with that, because I did a video when I got it with the Epiphone pickups in it for some reason, and it had the original Maxons, but they were in the video. I noticed they were broken, so I never fitted them. And then the second video he bought Greco pickups, put them in it, and then the third video he'd got the original pickups rewound, and I'd put them in it, and they were rewound wrongly, they were out of phase, and then he got them fixed and then gave it back, and so there's like 4 videos all condensed it. He's done a bit of editing on it, so I'll stick that out. It might be quite an interesting thing. He says the sound difference is amazing between the 4 different pickups. Well, the Epiphone pickups, the Greco pickups, the broken the out of phase Maxons, and then it working properly into a 10-minute video. So I'll put that out. What's your view on the use of guitar tone controls now, Jez? Well, yes, I mean, they're there for a reason. They are. Now I've got this amp. I don't know if you've seen this, Jez. I'm now solid state 100 watt, made in Coat Bridge, which is 10 miles as the crow flies in that direction, something like that. 15-20 minutes drive. And yeah, I've got the rat pedal on, but there is something in it. There's a sweet spot when you've got a really trebly amp, especially if I go. Yeah, see, they are there. Yes, I know. I know they're there. I know I should learn to use them, but it's kind of like one of those things. It's the same as, like, see, a lot to do with the effects as well. You now notice I'm using reverb. It's like I've not mastered anything, right? But I didn't figure I was good enough without any stuff on it. Yeah, I've not run out of things to do without the tone controls. I've not run out of stuff to do without the without reverb and without effects. I think these things are. I kind of want to nail the dry, plain sound first, and then right now I've got this to you, and and kind of build it up. So I think once I get a bit more mature, I mean, I'm old now, but I never grew up. I'm getting a wee bit behind now. Any tips on? Sorry, yes, I really just talk more about it for a $5, but yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, I remember you telling me ages ago there was a reason why there's 2 tone controls in a Strat, and not using them is like just not having them. It's like they're there. They are there for a reason. I totally get it. It's a total other dimension. What I think I really need to do is have a guitar that's got one pickup and a tone control, and then that's all you've got to play with. So I'd maybe learn a bit more to use it. Hey, tips on replacing the nut. The only bad thing on new very old guitar, the strings are sunk in too, it's had to raise the action so it wouldn't buzz. It's glued on. That's pretty. Hey, just tap it off with a block of wood. I've just got a wobble there, in fact, because I'm drinking my bucky too fast. I'm going to have a little break for probably only about 30 seconds. I've got a beer in the fridge that I'm going to drink because suddenly I got that wee drinking bucky too fast thing. I mean, try. I mean, it's a total cheat. But see if you just stick like. Before I don't have anything that I can really use to pretend that it's I'll use this packet of fags. If you imagine, if you sit there like that, and then if this was a piece of wood, give it a wee gentle tap with a hammer, it'll probably come out. Unless it's one of these, which are absolute bitch to come out, you'll never get that out without smashing it. And then if you can knock it off, get it out somewhere, you could put like a wee bit of cardboard behind it and raise it up and see if that sorts it. But and if you're going to buy a nut, if you've got like a plastic nut, the plastic nut is there to just reduce the price of the overall guitar. So you remember, if you're buying a guitar that's 100 quid, 150 quid in the shop, that's coming out the factory for a tenner. So it makes a difference for them. They're going to spend 10 pence on a nut rather than spend 2 quid. So if you buy even the shit ones you buy, if you spend like a fiver on a nut, you'll get like the sort of nut that's on a £2,000 Gibson sort of thing. Hey, Blacktooth. Sorry I said hello. I got a little bit drunk. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to go to the fridge. And I'm feeling a little bit lightheaded. I need to move on to the slider. Oh, here we go. And the bottle opener's on my car keys. It's a premium. I thought it was a Lidl cider, but it's not. It's a premium Copperberg, but that should reduce my alcohol intake so I don't get too pissed. And I'll just tell you what, I'm just going to go and hang these up so I don't lose them. I did lose my car keys last week, and it was like, pure, well, I am home, therefore they're there, and it was like, pure, I had a bit of good search for them, couldn't find them, and I just left them in the door. Do you hand sand before painting? Macaroon, well, the thing about you don't. This one was different because this one had already been sanded down to the wood and then gloss painted. But I would, if there was any way of doing it, try and leave, assuming you're trying to paint a poly guitar, just key the surface and do any filling you want to do and then paint on top of the surface. Don't put it back to the wood. Painting onto straight wood is fucking hard. It kind of works okay if you're doing something stupid like this. But see if you want to get like a proper professional finish, there's more to it than just using spray cans. So I would try and keep the poly finish on it. I wouldn't sand it down. You'll have to see the extra pickups. You've got the more expensive one. You've got a coil tap switch. I don't. They are the same pickups though. The most powerful pickups you can buy, they do have an extra screw so you can tilt them like this. Which, whether it makes a difference or not, I don't know, but I love the idea of it. Yeah, Mr. White. Tone controls. Tone! Tone! Tone, 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 tone. All about the tone. Tone, 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 tone. Did Ibanez make a version of the Blazers today? I don't think so. They did. They reissued it in the 90s, from 95 to 98 or something like that. They reissued it. They're quite different from this one though. The Blazer only ran from. It was the Roadstar with an E in it. for like 78, 79. And then the Blazer, which was a different factory, it was the Dyna factory, was like 80 to 82. And then there was the Roadstar with an A in it too. So there's not that much difference style-wise. Basically, it's just a Strat. It's slightly bigger. And because this is crazy colour, you can't really see it. But instead of being rounded here, it's got a sort of hook going on, kind of like the way a Rickenbacker does there and here. It's basically a Strat. I mean, the 7.25 radius and everything on this. It's like a very upgraded Strat. I like to have one humbucker guitar, no vol, no tone, just a kill switch. No volume? Oh, I don't know if I can handle with no volume. Well, you're talking there. But I like that idea, Macaroon, but I built my, which is a step further. Disconnecting. This Shocking Bird, which has one single coil pickup and a volume control. So that's not even a humbucker. It's only a single coil. It's amazing what you can do. Because the thing about, I mean, yeah, there's an awful lot. When you get a guitar like that doesn't have a tone and it's only got one pickup, you realise how different you can get sounds out by the way you play. So it makes a difference whether you pick here or pick here. Like a huge difference. Kind of like a wee bit, I kind of know that if you play a P bass, you'll sort of know that there's a huge difference from playing the bass here or playing the bass here and how you hit the strings and all that. But I mean, on a guitar like this, which has the 5-way switch and stuff, those differences are still there, but they're not as obvious because you've got other options. It's like, oh, I want it a bit bassy, so I'll switch to the neck pickup. Whereas if you've only got a humbucker on the bridge, it's like I want a bit bassy, so you kind of play kind of more here and you kind of mute it a bit. And there's an awful lot of nuances to it. Obviously, anyone playing an acoustic guitarist will know these things. Similar principles apply to an electric guitar. Nicky's guitar's in the fridge. Yeah. I got a bit pissed. You'd be able to punch me in the face and knock me out anyway. Any thoughts on the LSR roller nut? I do actually have an LSR roller nut on my Schecter Strat. I'll be honest, it's because it was chrome and there's a lot of chrome on it. It's got like a metal scratch plate and it's got a chrome. Would I say chrome? A steel scratch plate, chrome bridge, chrome pickups, chrome knobs, chrome tuners, and a chrome nut. I like the idea of it, yes. Whether it actually makes a difference, I don't know. The Blazer became the Roadstar. No, the Blazer became the Roadstar 2, which became the RG series, but I can put another one in there for you, Spodo Komodo. Just because it happens to be sitting here, right? So after the Blazer came the Roadstar, which kind of looked like this, but at the smaller headstock. Then came the Roadstar 2. But this, right? You see it says Roadstar 2 series is... You're not going to see it. An RG 530. So this is the first RG because RG stands for Roadster guitar. In 1986, the RG series came out, and this is it. In 1987, Steve Vai came out with his RG or his Gem, and then all the RGs became that shape. But this is the first RG. It's also the first time they had a licensed Floyd Rose on an Ibanez. So the ones you get before that, this is, I didn't know what this was, but I've not seen anything like it since. Forget the amazing color job, which is just pure silly. I don't know if you can see that. It's like sort of green. It's actually called Black Pearl. But so there's a thing in the middle there. Whereas from the year before this, from 1985, this is 1986. From 1985, you could get an RS 530, which looked the same as this, apart from it didn't have the Floyd Rose. And then in 1987, they all looked like what we now know as an RG. Yeah, so that's the Roadstar 2. So there was no Roadstar 1. It was Roadster with an E. Then it was Blazer. Then it was Roadstar 2. Then it was still a Roadstar 2, but not an RS something. Yeah. Everyone just saying hello to everyone. Would you say Kia, that would be 800 grit higher or lower? Probably. Yeah. Round about that. Just when I'm talking, basically I'm talking about doing the Bucky guitars, and they don't come out looking like I can't do like a factory finish. You see people do factory finishes, and it's like it's 3 weeks it takes them, and it's, you know, it's I'm selling a guitar for 110 quid. Do you know what I mean? I'm not spending weeks out there doing it. I want to be able to do it fast, and because it's a Bucky or an Iron Brew or a Star Wars guitar now, it's a bit lumpy looking, but it's still solid. It looks okay from this distance. You know what I mean? It's only when you got close to it, you go, "That's not a factory finish." Well, it's not, no, but that's why it's 100 quid. Do you know what I mean? It's not £1,000 guitar. I have a one pickup vintage Zip. I've actually got one of them in the garage that I'm doing up for a guy that I can't remember his name of. What's his name? Big something, Big Jim or something like that from Famous. There you go, Scott. Who's the guy that I'm building a guitar for out of a vintage Zip? Big something. The guy who was in Nirvana, or the guy who got asked to join Nirvana. I'm building a guitar from him. I've meant to be doing it for ages and just not bothered my arse to do it. He wants a sparkly gold Les Paul Jr. type with two bridge P90s, he said. So I'm just assuming he means because the vintage Zip has two single coils kind of in this position, I'm just going to put two P90s in and some sort of switch and make it gold sparkle. Big John Duncan is who I'm building it for. Yeah, the vintage Zips are cool. The one I've got has been it's just been chopped up. I actually got it off Scott. I just haven't bothered my arse to do it. It's one of those ones. Some things take a while, and if it doesn't work immediately, I kind of lose. It's like a Homer Simpson thing. It's like I tried it, I wasn't good at it immediately, so I gave up. That kind of happened. It's been in the garage for 6 months at least, just sitting there. And I keep doing it. A favorite pick thickness, or whatever you find. Pick thickness. It was a Jim Dunlop 1mm. Because I bought them at a Status Quo gig, and they were exactly the same as the black Jim Dunlop 1mm ones, apart from they were red. And it was because I looked at the merchandise store, and I'm not paying 30 quid for a t-shirt or whatever the other things. It was like, oh, 2 picks, 2 quid. Like that. Bought it. Really like that. So I started buying the Jim Dunlop ones, and then I bought Alice, which are cheap shite Chinese picks. And I bought them a packet of 10 of them or 20 of them for peanuts. You're 2 quid for 20. I mean, 10 pence each, something like that. And they were fine, and I kind of just wore through them. I've just got a bag of them, and then now I've bought 0.96mm ones, and I bought another bag. But instead of buying 20, I bought 50 for like £2.50 or something like that. Right, here we go. They still say 0.96 on them, but they're actually much thinner than the previous Alice picks I'd bought, which were the 1mm ones or the 0.96 ones. And then because I had them, I used them. And those are the picks I'm using now because I've still got a bag of... Is that the bag of them there? 0.96. So I've still got a bag of them there. And basically I just... You can just get used to it. I used to play the bass with a pick, and then, I don't know, 5 years ago, one night I didn't have a pick, and I started playing with my fingers. It's so much better playing the bass with your fingers. So I was using the same picks for my bass as I was for my guitar. Now I use these, which are... They do chop up, but I just throw them out. You just lose them. So basically I've just got hundreds of them, and you just get used to whatever it is you've got. I just force myself to use them, and they're now my favourite. And the thing about these is because they're really crap, cheap, shite plastic, they get really serrated on the edge, which means that if you want to, they really do pick slides because they're crap. With more distortion, they would pick slide better. And then, as the guy in the Anthrax band told me, I've been doing this. But have you tried going the other way? Like, no. I've not actually tried that in the studio yet with the band, but I'm sure they'll be impressed. Washburn Wonder Bar. I do have a guitar with a I bought a Washburn Wonder Bar on its own. It's like, so see, because this is it on its own, this is it in a guitar. So it's on its own, and I put it on my BC Rich Wave. It's basically a Caller, very similar to a Caller, but more engineered than that. And a Caller, you have to route the guitar. The big thing about the Washburn Wonderbar is you can stick it on the top of your guitar, and it's like 4 screw holes you've got. So, but you don't need to do any routing. So you could have like a Les Paul Junior. I don't know what other kind of guitar you put it on, but yeah, I say you had a Les Paul Junior. You could just fucking stick this thing in the top, drill 4 screw holes. That's it, done. No routing, no faffing about. I'm not sure. I don't love it. I need to dig that guitar out again. That's a guitar that's got a bad vibe on it, because a guy that I used to steal guitars out his bin, because what he used to do was he'd buy like a £200 guitar and then buy £200 worth of parts to put on it, and then try and do something stupid like fucking color it leather, or he would glue the neck, and it would just be fucked. And when he did well, he would buy £200 guitar, spend £200 in parts, and sell it for 150 quid. When he fucked it, he would buy £200 in a guitar, £200 in parts, and then fuck it, and then put it in the bin. And I would be like, oh, take that out the bin. Well, he wanted a shot of my Washburn, my BC Rich Wave, which was the most amazing. Not like that. That's gone sort of yellow, but this thing was a pearly one, the most amazing color. But it had like a big botch where someone had put a Caller in it at some point. I was like, yeah, can I borrow? Is that up here? I want to paint that. I was up here. No, look at the color. The color's amazing. Look at the color. I was going on about this color for weeks. This is amazing. Look at the way it's gone yellow, but it's still pearlescent. Fantastic. Is that, can I borrow that? I want to draw around it and make my own. So I need bother. So I lent it to him, and I got back, and he fucking bastard had painted it magnolia, like the worst color ever, and he hadn't even taken the parts off. It was like so it was like the big block. I was like, fuck it. Oh, I went, that's the last time I talked to him. Basically. Sorry, Jim, but that was totally out of order, and you knew that would totally send me into a rage. So I've kind of got a bit of a bad vibe with that guitar, but I put the Wonderbar on it to hide after I scraped all the magnolia paint off, I put the Wonderbar on to hide the Caller route. Yeah, they exploited Nirvana and Goodbye Mr. Kids. I don't know any of these. Big John. Hey, Kenneth, he was on the Gin Goblins. I just nipped up to say, oop, ain't been online much. Some tragedies interviewing someone. Might have something interesting to post soon, but be well, good people. Jude Blacktooth, I've seen you yapping off a little bit, but I went, fuck it. That'll be cool. Hey, John, my pick story, it's like, that's why Bucky's good. It tanks you full of caffeine and lets you talk absolute pish. That's why I love doing this so much. It's like drinking the Bucky, and then none of you, but none of you can butt in and talk. You can, I could say, once I've got something to say, AB message retracted. Did you call me a bastard? Yeah. The holy grail of tone, when will I find it? I don't know. I use Everly Star Picks. Oh, I know the ones you mean. Yeah, they've got a hole in the middle. I don't know. See, these are like basically just copies of the Jim Dunlop ones. They've got like a sort of. Yeah. So the camera can't show you, but where it says Jim Dunlop is kind of raised lettering, so it is a little bit grippy. I do remember having a pick. I seem to remember it being like fluorescent yellow, and you couldn't drop it. It was made of some sort of, not sticky, but somehow you just didn't drop it. But I mean, I just don't drop picks anymore. I don't know, but the thing is, you just get used to what it is. I'm also thinking about going to nines as well. It's like from the Blitzkrieg shop, I've been buying Roto Sound 10s off the guy, Tony, off the guy. Check out the Blitzkrieg shop if you're in town. And It does me a deal on Roadstar strings, and he didn't have that. I was like, give me 3 boxes of 10s. He only had 1 box of 10s and box of 9s. I was like, right, just gives the 9s anyway. That's fine. They're going on guitars I'm selling anyway. I do actually use them on my own guitars, but the 9s are actually I'm maybe quite kind of get used to it now. It's like I'm no longer thinking that it's like you're a bit of a lightweight if you're using 9s. There's something in having 9s on a guitar. I get it. You don't really use pickups at all. Well, maybe I'll get to that stage. Tones come from the sack. Yes. No. Tone comes from the tone wood amp, Mr. White. Tone wood amp. Tone plastic picks. Tone metal strings. It's all in the tone. Well, Scott, you're talking about losing picks you just gave up. I totally understand that, but that's why you buy a zippy bag of hundreds of them. I'm actually looking at it. This isn't my bag of picks, is it? I think I've got another bag sitting about somewhere, which is all the Alice picks in it. This is all the picks from previous exceptions. In fact, there's some classy ones in here. I need to get more picks made up. I need to get Mad Malcolm picks. Is that one of them there? What's that? There's the band that was in G-Rock. I bought picks off a guy on eBay, and he was brilliant. And they only worked out about 40, 50 pence each or something like that. And I've just only bought like 10 or something, but I've got other. I hope I've got a Project Ray one. He went a bit mad. I was like, up here, I bought picks off you 6 months ago. I've joined the band Project Ray. I was like, I don't know, is there any way you can do a sort of writing? Is up here, I don't know what you're doing. I was like, well, so I sent him a Jesse Ray album cover, and that's the picks he gave me. I see people with Star Wars figures in this. So you fucking look, it's tartan. And it's got a claymore on it, and it says Project Ray. And it's fucking double-sided as well. Amazing. I actually tried to get him to make Mad Malcolm picks, and he never got back to me, which is really annoying. I need to contact him again, get picks made. I bought. They weren't expensive either. They were like. I don't even think they were 50 pence each, to be honest. By the time I think I bought 50 Project Ray ones. 50 times 5 is 25 quid. No, they were less than that. They were like 25 pence each or something. Amazing. A metal pick. I was like, I think everyone's bought a metal pick. You know that surely this story's happened to absolutely everyone. See, when you bought your first guitar, the person you bought that first guitar off, I bought it second hand, gave you some picks. They gave you one about this. That was the one you lost immediately. And then you gave you a stupid thin one, which you can't use. And they gave you one that was as thick as a 2 pence piece. And they gave you a shark fin pick. And I bet you've still got the shark fin pick, the stupid paper thin one, and the one that's as thick as a 2 pence piece. I've still got my first ever pick, because that's when the guy gave me a handful of picks, and he obviously gave me all the ones that he'd had since he started playing. But the shark fin, nuts. But that was my reason for buying these Alice ones, because I mean, really, they were stupid cheap. Got them from China, and they were literally, I think they were 5p each or something like that. And it's like, fuck it. But I've seen the metal ones, and no. Hey, Jonathan, 2 quid. Don't pass my tinfoil question. What tinfoil question? A tone bobback, yeah. Hey, Stolen. Yeah, lost all of them. Yeah, but Dave, not if you buy a big, massive fucking bag of Alice ones, and they're all the same, and it's like the ones I like are the ones that are anything but black, because you just get them in random colours. Horrible khaki green, fine, but see the black ones. That's why I hated the Jim Dunlop ones, because it's like, you're right. Where am I going to put it? I'll just put it on top of my. Oh shit! genuine live moment there where I'll just put it on top of my amp. This amp isn't black. Every other amp's black, so you put it on top of the black amp and it's lost. This one's wood coloured, so it's like, yeah. So basically, another good reason for buying a tone wood amp, you can put black picks on it and they don't immediately disappear. Amazing. Yeah, no, I totally give up searching for a pick. Fuck it, just buy. And see, honestly, once these go, once I've run out of these ones, I'm annoyed that I've got another separate bag sitting somewhere that's only got these in it. Don't patch my tinfoil question. I need to go back up, Jonathan, and try and find your. I'm just too popular. I can't keep up. I don't know. No, Jonathan, whatever your tinfoil question is, if you ask me it again. Stainless steel picks, Jess. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what it is you're used to. I think you just get used to it. The first band I was in, I played bass, but I had the best guitar in the band. Mine was an Epiphone SG, and the keyboard player used to play. We used to play song 2, which didn't really have any keyboard in it. So he would play my Epiphone SG. I would take it to gigs, and he would just be going during it. And he pure fuck. It's the only damage on my guitar, and I played it for 10 years straight. And I said he used to use this metal pick, and it would just. But that's only because he didn't do it. Tone comes from Estonia. Germs come from Germany. Yeah, totally. And Scott, who you've seen in my videos there, he comes from Scotland. Yeah. I don't get complaints, Daniel, no, but they're old. I live in just mostly retirement homes around about here. The guy who never talks to me next door. So if you ever come to see me ever, don't park in front of his house because he'll be out like that. And it's like, I thought he just hated me, which he might hate me. I still say hello to him all the time, and he just dingies me. But you know when you hear like a deaf person talking, they're kind of, oh, this sounded really offensive. But you know what I mean? They've got a certain sound. I think he might be deaf, and maybe the reason he doesn't talk to me is because I say hello and he doesn't hear me. I hope that anyway. I don't really make that much noise, to be honest. I mean, the reason I'm in this room is because the living room's there. I could do it in the living room, but that's got a wall that goes onto the house next door. Whereas this one, I figured I've got a whole living room of absorbing things. It's not really that loud. You know, one person talking. Okay, on a Sunday night, I'm talking quite loud. It's only 9:30 at night. That's not above telly volume. That's all right. My God, I'm drunk for 9:30. We'll be on an hour and a half. Wow. A Dario guitar rest sits against your amp as a temporary stand, but also acts as a pick pot. Wow. I don't know. I've kind of, the way this happens to be setting up just now, see this mic, which I did have, I stole the switch. I used to use that for when I was doing my acoustic corner. I would kind of bend that down and it would plug into the back of the loop pedal, and I could do loops on the acoustic without a pickup. That's really good because I can lean a guitar like that and it sits and that stops it falling over. Also, the shape of this speaker cabinet gives me, there, see? It's great. I take it as something like that. But the pick pot thing, I don't know. I've had that idea, but folks steal them. I remember my pal Mole was up here, give me a pick, I was up here. Well, did you really? It's like, I never buy picks. Fuck off then, you're not getting one of mine. You never buy. You shouldn't have said that. You should have said, oh, I've lost mine, or I keep buying them and I lose them. No, it's like, I never buy picks. Yeah. But yeah, Brian May uses a sixpence which aren't they're actually cheaper than picks. That sort of thing. What's one of your gig rig type things? I still don't know, Jonathan, what your before your super chat disappears, your tinfoil question. I don't know what that was. If you want to restate that, I will answer it. I'm drunk and going up. All right, with the tinfoil inside a pickguard, do all guitars need it? Do basses need it? Not sure what it does. Yes, you can shield the inside of a guitar with tinfoil. It's through next door. Onslow, or Jeffrey Hughes, who played Onslow in Keeping Up Appearances, thought that was a good idea because I bought his guitar and his guitar was lined with tinfoil. Not guitar tinfoil, just tinfoil. So it shields your pickups. It's basically just it's to stop interference. If you're getting, see if you've got fluorescent lights, I just think, see, by the time it gets to nowadays, see LEDs and stuff, they don't affect it. But see, back in years ago, 20, 30, 40 years ago, places would have bad electricity and they would have fluorescent lights which interfere with your pickups. You know, you hear 60 cycle hum. You don't get 60 cycle hum in the UK. You get 50 cycle hum because we're on 50 hertz, not 60 hertz. If you ever remember that from back in the days of computer games, you get 60 hertz and 50 hertz on your telly. So it was 50 cycle hum. But nowadays, LED lights that don't have any interference. If you've got problems with your dimmer switches, like old-fashioned dimmer switches, like on your dimmer switches. I was talking to my pal Ronnie earlier on. I kept mentioning we're talking about tremolos, and he was doing the same as me. He was up here a whammy bar, and it's like I can't say Floyd Rose, Bigsby without doing the action to go with it. So up here, even if I didn't have the guitar, up here, hi, does it have Floyd Rose? You know, you can't. Same thing with. No, I don't think any of them need it. It must be a better thing, but I mean, if you can be bothered, if you're just wanting something to do, it doesn't do any harm. Basically, what you do is you line it with tinfoil, just make sure that it's earthed somewhere. I mean, the Washburns, these ones don't actually, but this one, the Hawk, I need to do a video, and I've got a video of these coming up soon. These ones, and in fact, I think, does my Gibson, my 68 Gibson have it? All the controls are set on a metal plate. So like the controls are on a metal plate and then going through the wood. And then there's like what looks like a tobacco tin type thing, Faraday cage that goes over that. And even the pickup switch is a thing that looks like a valve cover to completely surround all the electrics with metal. And then that metal is earthed, which stops interference. I don't think it's as much of a deal these days as it used to be. Any venue you go to, if you think of going back in the 60s and 70s, the venues would be 20, 30 years old electric. So you had like, fuses and wire made wrapped in cloth and all that shit. I don't think that happens the same way now as it used to. Yeah, I do. Yeah, stream's going good. I got a bit too pissed, so I moved on to the cider. It's only 4% Copperberg we're on. It was lovely. What's my opinion on modular amps? I'm struggling with it. As I said earlier on, with even the tone control and having pedals, I just don't need that many sounds. I can't play with the sound I want enough to actually think about other sounds. So I just want to limit me down to, once you get too many options, but I could do this, and once you adjust this knob and then this, it just becomes overwhelming. So I just like really simple if I can. I don't know the Fender Mustang. I might have done it. But yes, Stratocaster 1, Stop the Aliens. Yeah, totally. I had a stack of wall hangers, drilled holes, put 4 on my desk and 2 in the armrests of a chair. My guitar room. Yeah, well. What was your thing? I've got these, these rack things you get, which take they say they take 4 guitars. It takes 4 acoustic guitars, but if you put electrics in, you can get 8 in. You can put 2 in, as long as they don't have tremolo arms. You can get. I mean, you can just wedge them in. Yeah. Yeah. The modeling things are. I mean, it's obviously the future. I can totally see why people would do it, especially if you're playing a gig. Nobody's really going to notice, but there's also a point of if you're sitting there with a really lovely little tube amp with like a high quality curly lead. Obviously, it has to be coily. And then a really expensive guitar with new strings on it. You can just sit there and just savor the joy of amazing. But it's all to do with where you are and what you play. It kind of reminds me a little bit of I remember my dad telling me, going back ages ago, used to have a speedboat, and he would buy cheap wine, or not cheap wine, sort of £4 a bottle wine. And he's sitting there and he's like, because it was something to do with, we were doing a hotel up, and one of the darts player, Eric Bristow, was at that hotel one night, and he was absolutely outrageous and pure shouting and causing a fuss because they just had, what is this crap wine? Because the most expensive wine they had was £200 a bottle. I'm not drinking wine as cheap shite as that. And they were just like, right, it's obviously a pure dick. I'm sure it was Eric Bristow. That pure dick. This is going back to when after my first job, so I was 14, so 30 years ago. And Window Street it was called, in Kinross. And he was sitting there in his lap here. He was sitting in his boat. I was like 14 or something. I wasn't drinking or anything like that. Sitting there going, up here, is it? See that glass of wine that Eric Bristow would have in his dinner party or like that? Are you trying to say that that's as good as this glass of wine here? When I'm sitting here in my boat, looking down to the Mull of Kintyre, up to Inverary, you know what I mean? Sky like this, 2 miles away from any land, and it's like, no. So that's my principle. Who you're with, where you are, much more important than what it is. So I can make, we're talking about sub £100 gig sound better in the right place with my friends than playing the most expensive guitar, the most highly prized amp in front of a bunch of dicks. This better here. Get a bit philosophical, eh? Yes, I'm sorry. I love these streams as well, Jonathan. I just get pissed and just talk until I don't know. It's like you don't like it. You don't like it. So I'm sorry, but I mean, I'm not trying to be real, man. Keep it real. I can't stand it. See, like what's with this? See, like this joining in with all the other people. What was it? It was last week. It was who noticed the Fender. I can't remember what it's called. A Ventura, something like that. A new Fender came out, and it was like pure the Anderton video. And then that night, it was like 20. My whole entire stream on YouTube was just, the new Fender. You're like, wow, fuck's sake, man. And then the other day, it was like that new Gibson, which is like a chill. That interests me at all. I don't even want to watch one video. I don't want to watch 25 videos. But I'd love to get on. I don't know. I would never get on the list, but see if I could get on the list where I was given it as well. Because it would be my video would be very different from everyone else's. I would think like, yeah, look at it, it's fucking horrible, but it's kind of. I mean, I assume it's a £900,000, £1,500 guitar, which is the same I would have paid for every guitar you can see all put together, sort of thing. And it's like, yeah, so it can't be shit. But oh man. Yeah, Kempers are really expensive, but if that's what you want to do, yeah, I don't like modeling apps, but I still listen to records. Yes, I know. That's the difference in it. I mean, I'm records myself. You know, it's like, and I'm also a guitar, cable, amp. There's something romantic about that, isn't there? But definitely records sound better than CDs. And then anything you get on YouTube, I couldn't believe it when I went from because when I joined the Black Sabbath band, I was I'll need to have a listen along and see what the bass does, and War Pigs and all that shit. Playing it on YouTube, 720p, decent quality, blah blah blah, through the same amp. The difference between that and the record is this much. It's like pure. It's like it's an entirely different experience. It's like having somebody playing the cheapest Squire that's slightly out of tune, not set up through a 10-watt amp in next door. and having Jimi Hendrix playing his guitar through a Marshall stack in your face. There is the difference. It's unbelievable. I mean, you can't argue with the price thing with the modular things. I mean, I don't even think I've got a modular. Well, are the Black Stars modulars? I've got an amp that's a modular. What one is it? I've got the Line 6. And it's a wee, I think it's 6 watt, something like that. It's like what would normally be a 10 watt, but this is battery powered. So it's 6 watt. It's this size. It runs in batteries, and it's got, I think it's 4 channels of like clean light dirt blue or clean blues, rock and metal or something like that. And yeah, totally. It's great. If you're learning to play the guitar and you've got the sounds at your fingertips, totally, man. And it sounds great, but the difference between that and actually just having one sound and a really good amp, I do understand that if you're buying a really good amp now, new, it's going to be £1,000. But I mean, I'm talking about that, which I don't think he's on anymore, but I paid 50 quid for that. Like, pure. I paid what? I paid less than I would have paid for the naked wood to build the frame. Never mind the amp, never mind the cover, never mind the speaker. But that's just how secondhand stuff works. I don't know who else would have wanted it. For me, it was the look, but I mean, it's really good. Instantly, it's like pure tring. This doesn't sound like my other amps, but it sounds really good. Just it's like I'll get used to it, or I can use that. It's the same reasons of why you buy what sounds better, an SG or a Strat. And it's like, well, neither sounds better. That sounds like a Strat, that sounds like an SG. They're different, but you can use that. There's no point if you want an SG, if you want to play AC/DC and you want an SG, it doesn't matter how expensive your Strat is. That SG will sound more like an SG than your most expensive Strat, vice versa. Oh, I really want a Strat. Oh, here's a 10 grand SG. Fucking not. That'll sound more like a Strat. Horses for courses. I think so much of it's all this consumerism. I struggle with it. It's like it becomes the norm. You just because you're so used to it. I stopped buying. I've only ever bought like 3 guitar magazines. Once they went up to like 5-6 quid a time, it was like, pure. I'm not buying a magazine for 6 quid. 6 quid will get me 3 records. You know what I mean? And back at the time, it was like, pure. What, get a Deep Purple album and a Beatles album for that, or a Sabbath album and a Budgie album. You know, it's like not bother. But if you go into, I don't mind slagging off guitar because I've now recently, me and Scott decided they were just bastards. But the thought is that if you're you're going to play gigs, you need to spend £1,500 on a guitar. You fucking don't. You know, and it's like just. But that's where the consumerist blah 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 blah. Appear. I read. What's up here? What? The guy with the talking about my Washburn Falcon. Appear. I'll maybe see if I can get one of them really cheap. And then I'll swap the pickups out for my favourite. And you're like, up here, right? Have you heard the pickups? I think you'll find if you look up the forums that Seymour Duncan 59 is the best pickup you can get. You're like, well, I'm sure the forums say that. I mean, actually listen to the ones that are in it. The ones that are in are DiMarzio Super Distortions. That sound fucking amazing. I really like them. But the forum doesn't tell me I like that. And you're like, no. It's like, it doesn't matter what the forum says. If you like it, then you like it. Crazy stuff. I'm now getting into a bit rant mode. Yeah. So I'm thinking I might go back onto the bucky to get my energy levels are dipping a little bit. It's feeling like I'm a bit long, or maybe a wee sip of this. Oh, Macaroon. Option paralysis. 1 point. 10 points. I like that. I like that. Option paralysis. Yes, I totally suffer from that. It's like, I just don't want that much. I mean, it's really crap when I'm like demoing amps and stuff like that quite a lot. It's like, I like, see if you set it to like all the dials to 12 o'clock apart from volume, obviously. And it sounds pretty good. We're away. If you have to twiddle with it to get it to sound good, fuck that. I had a shot. I mean, the JCM 2000s have got in Berkeley studios. One time I thought I'd burst the Softtech, but it turned out I hadn't. I just haven't used the JCM. It sounded fucking gash. Like, oh God, I'll try Diamond, putting all the knobs at 0. It's fucking awful. All 3 channel, fucking. I was like, you're just trying to make it sound not crap. I wasn't starting off with a decent sound and improving it. I was starting off with a sound that was horrendous and trying to make it acceptable. Well, the rest of the band are like pure getting anywhere. Oh my God, it fucking sounds fucking awful everywhere. Like, I can't remember that. East West Hames best. I just like a nice sound, and that's the thing. As I said, he's well pissed off by now. But the guy, or I don't mean pissed off. I mean he's probably gone to bed. The guy I bought the Carlton off, whatever it was set to, as soon as before I plugged the guitar in, I turned the volume down. He's like, he turned it on to make sure it didn't explode. Basically, I was like, up in his garage, out in the open, and I was just pure, yes. I think I actually said that to him. It was like pure, yep, sold. Right, what does it do now? Because immediately it was like pure, yep, I want that. It's like already sounds great, and I've not fannied about with anything. Amazing. Oh, I've heard about the Yamaha TR10. Yes, they are meant to be amazing. Don't have one. Wouldn't spend £100 on it. Well, okay. Did Delaney cost £100? No, I think it did. I have not spent £100 on an amp since I bought that. When I bought that in 1998 was the last time I spent more than £100 on an amp. Everyone else has been in single figures. But yeah, that's it. And apart from the PV, which I'm going to sell, I don't want to buy a PV. I'm selling it cheap. The 1x12 Valve King, which was a pure bargain. Too good to be true price, and then it cost me £160 to get it fixed. So I still paid well less than what it's worth, but it does bite. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like you look at it, go, is it like £250 better than that one? No, but there you go. In my eyes, consumerism and the evils of totally. I don't know. I'm drunk, so who cares? Doesn't really matter. Spike, give me some likes if you can. A few folk on, and there's not enough people, and I don't imagine it's the same people because I keep noticing that people keep watching, jumping in and going, maybe watching for 10 minutes and going, this guy's an idiot, and leaving. So if you could give a like before you leave, that'd be rocking. Doesn't cost you anything. Best thing about a Yamaha, it takes bass and acoustics. Yeah, I mean, my wee Line 6, which I agree is not as good as your Yamaha, but it's got an acoustic mode. If you press all 4 channels in at the same time, it goes to acoustic mode, which is PA, which you can plug a bass into a PA. It's totally fine. Menu diving is what drives me most nuts. I can't do it all, just kills any fun. No, but I understand. I totally get that. That's when you've got oh man, it wasn't knob paralysis. That sounds really bad. I don't have knob paralysis. Option paralysis, whatever it was that fucking Stratocaster said earlier on. It's like, yeah, but I can understand how folk are pure into that. That's totally fine being pure into that. I'm not. I want to give me a guitar and even a volume and just a good sound, and I want to know what I'm playing. I should probably play acoustic. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so I'm more interested in the way I'm phrasing, how I'm hitting the strings, all that to worry about. I'm not good enough at that bit to start going into, a little bit of chorus on it and a little bit of reverb and I just want a sound that I like. There we go. And then I don't have to worry about that. And then I'll just stick on the one pickup and learn and concentrate on the guitar. I'm not confident enough on the actual guitar before it gets to that stage, but that's not necessarily the right way. It's just the way my head works. Other people do things very different. Option paralysis, that was it. It wasn't knob paralysis. Knob paralysis is a different thing. Yeah. 160 presets. Yes, and I understand. And it's always obviously it's good to have options, but I think it just depends on how your brain works. You know what I mean? It's like I'm a as I've said before, I'm kind of more an engineer than an architect, if you know what I mean. So when I'm doing the 8 pickup guitar, the 10 pickup guitar, stereo one, or the fucking I also got the triple bucker and the one with 3 necks, all that stupid stuff. I just want it done quickly and efficiently and out. Whereas if you were the artist, it would be like pure, oh, and it's like pure all these. And I was like, no, fuck that. I just want to do it, build it. I want it done. I don't want to spend, or even when you're talking about doing a finish, I'm willing to fill a bucket of water, dunk it, and this, taking an hour to do that, and then lacquering it, and then putting it back together again. I'm totally up for that. I'm not willing to spend weeks doing that. I mean, Jess is on it, did an amazing Telecaster, but the amount of time it took to do that, my head doesn't work that way. I get bored and want to move on and do something else. So I'd get the angle grinder on it. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy. Model the same presets. The Vox of a million. Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, it's not a bad thing, obviously. And the thing is, it doesn't cost that much to do that. I suppose they're looking at it; they can just give you the 3 best sounds, but how do you choose them? And it's like, oh, too many variables. And then obviously, it depends what it is you're playing. What kind of music? I mean, I don't have a vision in my head for what I want, which I think some people do. They're sitting there going, up here, I've got this sound in my head. I'm sounding like I'm slagging people off. No, I've got this sound in my head. I've got to try and find it, and I know how to operate all the shit to make that. That's totally fine. And I get that in the element of synthesis, because I get into synthesizers for a fair bit. Bought a few mono synths and a few polysynths, proper analog synths where you've just got a sine wave. I've got a sine wave, and then you can make it into anything. Oh, you want it to sound like a piano? Can do that. A violin? Can do that. A boat engine? Can do that. A bell? Can do that. Thunder? Yep. All these things. So you're basically, it's like the principles of taking just the most basic sine wave and doing shit to it to make any sound you can. Totally get it. I mean, I get lost on synth journeys for hours and hours just sitting there. And once you understand what it can do, it's amazing. But that's a total analogness of it. And it's kind of, you can do that with a guitar. The problem with the guitar is you're not starting off with a single note going, giving you a sine wave. You're starting off with the most expressive instrument to start with. So you can make so many different sounds with whatever set, or just with a clean sound without having to modify it. It's mental. What was bought by my guitar? No, guitar is just basically, well, it's just a modern consumerism thing. They're not as bad. Actually, the last couple of times I've been in it weren't as bad the first time. I mean, the folk in it that work in it are obviously nice, and they're imagining the guitar and want to help and all these things. But it's just how much money they give you for a trade. It's just the amount of money. I'm just against how much money you can make from selling guitars, and I don't know how. No, they're just they're the man guitar. So I mean, it's like, I suppose they're probably just a bit like Andertons or something like that. But I mean, I think the big thing I like about Andertons is I don't think Lee Anderton's a dick. I like him. I don't like anyone else he works with. You can see them all in for the money, and I think he's kind of. You can see the pang of guilt. The same if you ever see me try to sell like a guitar that I don't really like that much. Do you know what I mean? You can see that, you can sort of see in the way he talks and his attitude. It's like the guilt going up here. Yeah, I mean, it's good value and stuff like that. It's only £900. He knows fine fucking well you can buy a better guitar for £900, but this one is worth £900, so you can't argue that. £900 is what it goes for. That's what they go for online. Everyone else is selling it. Everyone else loves it. That's totally fine. But yeah. See, before digital, You'd film cameras. Yes, okay, yeah. You'd film cameras at concerts and deliver with the cameras out, or is it taking photos and videos of the big new thing? I have to say that was the thing that my pal Wayne was very helpful when I went to see Baby Metal at Brixton Academy, which was the week after they played Glastonbury 3 years ago. And I could not believe how many cameras. And it's like, see, if I want to film a 30-second excerpt from from the gig to prove I was there, but everyone's like that. So you just got like a C fucking, and it's like we'll have the screen on maximum brightness, and you don't enjoy the fucking gig if you're sitting. That's a different rant. But fuck your phones at gigs. I can appreciate that somebody should do it, but see the person at the front or the person who's maybe a couple back who can sit with a phone like that and film it. Yeah, and they're going to film the whole gig. That's totally fine. That'll be on YouTube. Fuck, being anywhere apart from in the first couple of rows, holding it like that. Oh, this and that. So you basically, if you're up here, oh, can I see the band? No, I've just got fucking like car headlights in my face the whole gig. Wayne saw that I was getting pure rage and just went, right, mosh pit, just pushed me right in the mosh pit. Fucking amazing. They have a pill for knob paralysis. Yeah. I've already forgotten what it was. The actual term was. What was it? I liked it. No, my issue with guitar and general consumerism is the whole idea that we'll look at the PRS Silver Sky SE, and we've got an affordable version of the PRS. It's fucking £900. £900 is not an affordable guitar. If you're touring the world in a massive band, yeah, totally £900 affordable. But that's not the note. It didn't make any difference. It's 1% better than a decent. It's 1% better than this. If it's better than this, I doubt it's better than this. I'd put this up against a PRS. But this isn't worth the money. Oh, it doesn't say PRS. No, it says Ibanez on it. Ibanez are fucking good though. And it was basically £875 more than this. So £875 worth of Bucky. And this on a PRS Silver Sky. SE, not the real Silver Sky, obviously. The affordable one. And when it comes to affordable is, I would argue sub £200. No, it used to be less than that. Yeah, I don't mind if someone goes, it's a really good buy. Your Harley Bentons, they're affordable. It's like, how much is 150 quid, 180 quid? Yeah, okay. I can see that being in there. But once you get up to 500 quid's mid-price, right? Mid-price, that's where you should be able to buy an SG, or in my view, it's not though. SGs aren't 500 quid anymore. When I bought that, you could get the current range. When I bought that in 97, 98, a Gibson SG was £450 new or £500 new for the faded one, which is fucking half as good as that, right? I paid less than that, but it was second hand and it was all beat up and scratched. And then those very much what were £450, £500 brand new guitars are now 600, 700, 800 quid. For a guitar, no way is it worth it. If those ones are worth 600, 700, 800 quid, that's worth £2,000. That's how much better it is. But not gonna think. I'm just lucky that I bought an SG when I did, rather than having to buy them now. I just bought a Dan Electro 12 string. I bet it does. There's a guy actually, Jimmy Dev, who runs the music gear buy and sell page in Glasgow, is selling a 12-string Telecaster, and he's really worded it really badly. It's like pure, I fucking hate this thing. Had it for ages. Don't know why I bought it. Shite. Pure, bought the strings 6 months ago. Eventually fitted them last night. Fucking took me 3 hours. Hate the bastard. Fucking shite. Hate it. 70 quid. You're like that. Could have worded it better. man. Would have been nice. Do you know what I mean? But it's a 12-string Telecaster. But I mean, I've had a 12-string electric guitar, and I know I don't want a 12-string electric guitar. I used to use it for recording a lot, but the thing is, strings go rusty, right? See, 12-string strings, because they're thinner, they go rusty quicker, and it is a bitch changing 12 strings. I've not done it for ages, but it really is a pig, because invariably you put the wrong string on the wrong post. And you don't notice it immediately. So you put the sharp D, you know, the thin D on the fat D post, and then you start wiring up the rest of them, and then you get to the end and you go, oh no, so you've got to take 4 strings off to fucking 12-string electrics. No thanks. A guitar player's on it with just an amp and a guitar is the best. There you go. Yeah, well, no, they're not, but I mean, that's it. I actually watched a really good video. You should watch JHS Pedals. Was it last night I watched it? Last night, and he was talking about Jimi Hendrix, and when his pedals came in, I mean, he was talking about Jimi Hendrix's pedals. He had like half a dozen, and it was when they were invented, and he was using them the following day in the studio and stuff like that. And it's like, I remember seeing a thing years ago. It was Zakk Wylde going, Jimi Hendrix wasn't really that good on the guitar. He just had the best equipment when it came out. So the first time anyone ever had a wah-wah, I was like, here we go, and the fuzz pedal, bang. So that's the first thing that anyone ever did. So that's why he does it. So whenever you play a wah-wah with a fuzz, you sound like Jimi Hendrix. I don't think there's an awful lot of truth to that. Not that keen on Zakk Wylde. I saw him download a few years ago, and it was like, it's a little bit of a dick. I don't know. That's the only time I've seen him, and I was pretty drunk. And it's like, whenever you get to the last band and download, you've been up for 2 days drinking all day, taking shots with your Slovakian pal. You're absolutely minced, and you basically just want to go to sleep. So it's quite tough. But I sound in my head and the voices, they don't like me. That's bad, man. But yes, totally got it. One of knocks, Mr. White, you felt bad for selling the Hondo. Which Hondo was that? He even threw some things for free. Yes, I know. It feels bad. I mean, that's like, see that Sakai. He's not on here. I did feel guy sell it to him. Because I know. I mean, the last one I had, I couldn't believe how quickly it sold. I was like, so I put that one on. It's like, yes, it's good. Yeah, it's totally fun. Yeah, it's got lots of stuff in it. It's not 180 quid, 160, whatever it was. I sold the last one for. I sold this one for, and it's like, yeah. I understand how it's stretched up, and it is worth that. If you look on eBay and stuff, you get ones that are in worse condition. I sold it for a really good price. Do you know what I mean? They normally go for more than that, especially one that works. But I don't know. It's like, you know, it's like him, just because it doesn't really worth it for me doesn't mean it's not worth it for someone else. And I felt really bad about it. And I was trying to give him strings. He was like, oh no, it doesn't matter. I'm going to tune it crazy anyway, so I'll be putting different strings on it. And you're like, Even it was the same guy that bought the Octoblaster guitar. Actually, I felt a bit guilty about that as well. No, but that's because I know how much it cost and how much time I spent to build it. So if I took a tenner an hour with the time I took building it, it cost more than that. Do you know what I mean? But just like, if I was going to buy it, I've got to try and put myself in that position. You know what I mean? How much these things are worth. I mean, that SG there is worth every penny of the £350 I spent for it, even though it's the second most expensive guitar I've ever bought. I'll stand by that. That's amazing. But if I was to sell that now, the last one I saw went for over £1,000, and it's like, I'd feel guilty about selling it for selling something that I don't know. It's crazy. I went to see Joe Bonamassa in Blackpool. It was a sea of phones. Oh, fuck it. Yeah, the phones does suck. It does. I don't mind somebody filming it, but it's the whole thing about, if you're going to film it there. Do you know what I mean? I don't mind you filming it there, but it's the fact that and then everyone's doing that, so there's no, and they're sitting there. You watch people, they're watching the gig and they're sitting there zooming in, and You know, fuck off. Just the band should just hire somebody to do that. Sitting at the back, right? No phones, right? Don't want to be dicks, right? But no phones. You're allowed to take a couple of photos down low, right? That's it. No video in it. We've got a guy at the back or a girl at the desk who'll film it in HD, stick it on YouTube. Fuck it, right? So no phones. You can just look on YouTube. The link will be there. Bang. Sorted. Do you know what I mean? All the gear, no idea. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe it's just because I'm skint all the time, or I have been. You know, I don't want it worth it. If you want to spend $5,000 on a Les Paul, oh, and you enjoy it, how can you argue that? It's like, you know, it's like buying a painting. But you could buy like a Van Gogh for £1 million or something like that, and it's like it looks exactly the same as a poster that costs a tenner. But yeah, just don't enjoy it. At least you can enjoy it because you can look at it. It's like, yeah. So I don't know. I don't want. I mean, I'm being horrible. I don't really hate anyone though. You know what I mean? It's like it's not going to spend more than £1,200 on a guitar, much less a guitar. Well, there you go. My Panda cost £600, and just got its second MOT. 3 years I've had its second MOT, and the MOT was £140. Fucking winner. The last one was £300, but that's fine. You know what I mean? If you can get it to keep running. That guy's video is JHS. Yes, I like the guy, but he's kind of the same as the other. He's like, I know I'm making pedals that aren't. I wouldn't pay what I'm selling them for, but they're worth that because that's what you can sell them for. So you know, it's like it was that the Behringer one. The only thing I don't like about him is Scott might have ruined it for me a little bit, telling him about some of his beliefs. You know, like that pair, pro-life, like that, really. You're better sometimes just not knowing these things. Corrosion X. Jess, that sounds like an interesting. Is Corrosion X for? Sounds like a Fast and the Furious 10, but I take it as some sort of kind of like your fast fetish shit. Apart from it, but it won't be for guitar strings. It'll be for engine components or something. Maybe we'll look at that. That sounds interesting. Moral question: if somebody was selling a guitar for say £50 and knew it was worth a fortune, what would you do? I wouldn't haggle, and I would be incredibly nice to them, and I would just go over as quickly as I could and give them the £50 cash. That's it. I know that's maybe not, but that's what they thought it was worth. So, you know, it's like when you say like £50, I mean, is it worth 10 grand? And I knew it was worth 10 grand. I'd maybe give him £100, but I mean, it's like that doesn't happen in real life. I mean, this guy, I mean, I bought this guitar for £25, and it's the same with the amp. And it was like I was totally honest with the guy with the amp and the guy with this guitar, and it's like no, but I bought this at was it 9 o'clock at night on a Sunday night or something like that. Must be before live streams, whatever night it was, and it was £25 for an Ibanez Blazer. I was like, right, I'll buy it. I'll come and get it right now. Take me an hour to get you. So I drove over to Edinburgh at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night. I got there, pitch dark, middle of lockdown and all that. And the guy answered the door and he's like, "Oh, you're going to make a fucking killing on this, man. 20 folk have called after you did." And I was like, no, this one's for me. I had one of these a few months ago, and the guy wouldn't sell it. This is for me. So when I got it, once I'd painted it up, I sent him pictures like that. No, so you know it's going to somebody who's not just going to flip it. Same kind of thing happened with that amp. It's like I was like, no, this is not, because I know it's worth more than what I paid for it. Well, probably not that much more. Not like this. But I mean, you got to. It's your own moral compass and all that. I would never haggle for something that was less than it's worth. If you know what I mean, if I go and see a guitar for £100 and it's worth more than £100, I won't haggle. I know a lot of people do. It's like pure, yeah. Well, it's totally worth 300 quid, and you're going to buy it for 100, and you go up here, oh, I'll give you 60. Yeah, fuck that. I'm not doing that. If it's just give you exactly what you want, that's fine. And I'll be incredibly nice and bang, and you'll know it's going to a good place. You know what I mean? That's how it works. Burnside playing a jumper on the line is a great example of a guitar tap. Basically, one chord shape, such a good sound at rhythm proof. It's all the fingers. I'm drunk. I have no idea what you just said there. R.L. Burnside. I don't. Maybe if I knew who R.L. Burnside, it would make sense. Stratocaster, buy it. Ensure he's happy about it and buy it. Yes, that's it. I will have a bit of an issue. See if I go and try and buy a guitar and it's kind of borderline and there's something serious. I will not haggle. If I say I'm buying it, that's it. But if I say I'm buying it, say, I don't know, fucking £100 for I'm not going to buy a Squire at £100. £60 for a Squire, right? Strat. And it's like, right, okay, I'll go and see it, and it's all right. Or it's like anything I could see, it's got a chip in it, but it was in the photos. There's your money. If I go and it's like, oh, hold on, one of the tuners is missing, then I might consider haggling. Something that wasn't mentioned, but if it's shown, that's it. As long as I can basically make more money on it or it depends whether I want it for myself. Sometimes you just want the guitar yourself. It's like maybe I'll just buy it because I want it for me because it's a rare one or whatever. But yeah, it's ensure he's happy. That's it. If you I don't want to take the piss. And it's like that whole thing. You do get bastards, so a lot of them on not so much on Facebook Marketplace, but on eBay, or not on eBay, on Gumtree, where it's like, yeah, someone's found this guitar at the dump. Do you know what I mean? Stuck it up for 45 quid, like my Aria laser bass. Yeah, it's a £300 guitar. He found it at the dump though, and it was a bit fucked. It was covered in tape, It was but the guy was honourable and was like, yeah. A couple of other folk have phoned about it. I think you've got a really good deal. And I was like, well, not that good. It kind of looks a bit like the one for the guy Metallica plays, but it's not the exact same model and the neck split and all that shit. I was like, but I wasn't going to fucking haggle with him. It's like the guy got it from the dump, didn't know what he had, thought, oh, I might get 45 quid from picking this up from the dump. That's fine. He's happy. I'm happy. It went to the right person. It's not just that whole this guy doesn't know what he has. What, and he's put a 1958 Stratocaster up for 100 quid? I'm going to go over there and I'm going to offer him 50. I'll lie and say, oh no, the next bento is a bit rusty here. No, I'll give you 50. Fuck off. If it's someone selling something like that, I'll like, here's your money, man. Do you want a I'll buy you a pint and just be incredibly nice about it and then send them photos after you've done it so that you know that you're not taking the piss. Good consumerism. It's like coming in. I've not even got to my main point about tonight. I was talking to Scott last night. It was only last night. I thought, what guitars are you after now? And it was like, there isn't. I have every guitar I want. There's not a guitar I can think of. Please suggest a guitar that I want that I don't have. It was really depressing, and it was like an hour. It really disturbed me for like an hour later. I was still going, there's not any guitars I want. I've got them all. If someone said, obviously I'm not talking about buying a guitar that's worth it to flip or something. Oh, are you sure you wouldn't want a 1960 Les Paul for 50 quid? So like, obviously, but no, I'm talking about actual normal guitars. There's not anything I don't have that I want. The last one was the Washburn A20 and the Aria ZZ guitar to match my original bass, which I both got off Wayne 6 months ago, or probably nearly a year ago now. That was it. There's nothing else on my list. Oh, there's one. I don't have a Yamaha SG5. I'd like one of them, but I'm not paying £1,000 for it. I want a Yamaha SG5. Okay, there you go. There's the one I want. I want a 60s Yamaha SG5. Yeah, You can make a fortune. Hey, John, how you can make a fortune if you ship from England? No one wants to ship on eBay. You look guitars that aren't over here go for a fortune. Are you in America? I don't know. I mean, that's sort of. It depends what it is you're after. I mean, I'm not in England. I'm in Scotland, but just now we're in the UK. Hopefully not for much longer. But yeah, the blood moon tonight. Oh, I have no idea which direction the moon's in. It fucking is. It's totally a blood moon tonight. How can I? What are the chances of my phone picking it up? And I'll show you. It's because a clear night as well, which is pretty rare for Scotland. Is my phone going to pick that up? No, it's. But totally blood moon tonight. Gallery. Look at this technology. Well, no, back. How do I make it full screen? Right, technology is not there, but you can clearly see even there that orange thing is the moon, and that is a blood moon. Yeah, so you're quite right. It's a blood moon. I see a blood moon rising. I see. I'm asking because I saw a Taylor and Gumtree about 3 years ago for 50 quid. I tried to get it, but it was gone 1 week later. I'm sure it was on the wall in the guitar for drumroll 13 grand. Fuck's sake. Well, who knows? Yes, possibly. Some folk have no qualms at all. I would struggle with that. Because I do. I'm not knocking. I do buy guitars for 10, 20, 30 quid. I'd sell them for 100 quid. But I paint them Bucky style, I put stupid pickups in them, and they will play like an absolute dream. So when you're paying 100 quid or 150 quid for a guitar off me, it'll be fucking worth it. It'll be an amazing guitar, miles better than what you can buy new. And I take solace in that, but it's not like it's not bad to make money. You know what I mean? But it's kind of got a guarantee, especially I think, I mean, I'm doing videos of these guitars playing. I will not sell a guitar that's shit. I've got guitars through there that I will not sell because even though I paid 50 quid for them or whatever, and it doesn't play, I'll not sell that. I know I could. I know I could get 150 quid for those guitars by doing a video and intentionally never playing above the 12th fret. But shit, I can't do that. I've got a reputation, even though it's just in my own, in my view. Nobody else knows about this reputation I've got, but I will never sell something that I think is shite. I've got 3 old ladies in the boot of my car. All their sons in 1950. A Parker Fly. I actually nearly bought a Parker Fly. I'd buy one, but I would buy one out of curiosity if it was cheap. Do you know what I mean? I don't really want one. A Yamaha Revstar with P90s. I don't know if I really want a Yamaha Revstar. Again, it would be a price thing because I've got a P90 guitar. It's okay. It's not a 335. It's kind of like, I don't really like 335s. In America, I've messaged at least a dozen people in America, and from eBay UK, not one would ship. Oh, X-Paps, okay. Let me tell you about one of the ones that got past me. It was an pre-Iceman IC300, it was called. And it was same as Joachim's Blazer. So a sparkle blue, 300 quid. Nobody bid on it. I missed it. From 1979, something like that. Yeah, I would have that Iceman. It would have to be a 70s or early 80s one, but yes, okay, I would have that. Bang. Okay, done. There are 4 lights. No. I'm gonna have to go for a piss in a second. But yeah, they're 4 lights. Yes, I know to what you reference. I wish I don't remember exactly which episode of TNG it was, but yes, I do know that. 4 lights. I would just think of you as that small kid, cowering and scared and hungry. Yeah, totally. Bought a Marshall combo once back in the 80s at MXR Distortion. You didn't know it was worth £200. There you go. John Ho, do you ever park guitars out for higher profit? No. I've had many opportunities to do so. Well, what about when I bought my Aria Urchin, which I was actually thinking of digging out. I need to dig that out. I've not played it for about a year. It was 160 quid I paid for it. I had a Gibson T-top pickup in it, and I sold the Gibson T-top pickup for 150 quid. It didn't really sound that good, but it was a Gibson T-top pickup. So then, no, I don't think, I don't, I sell guitars that I know if I split them up into parts, I would get twice as much. But I will not put a good dog down as the answer to that. No, because you can get more money for pretty much any guitar, especially if it's a Strat. I mean, if I was to sell this, I would get more than 100 quid for the neck, more than 100 quid for the body. The pickups, Ibanez Super 6s, a fucking solid Gotal brass bridge, smooth. This is £500 worth of parts like that, and it would absolutely no problem at all. I don't think the guitar's worth 500 quid, even if I did finished it properly. You know what I mean? No, I don't. I don't part out guitars. I kind of hate folk that do. I will not. And it's the same with, see, even if I get a guitar that's too nice to be buckified, I won't do it. If it's like, buy a Strat for, I'll make it into something stupid like an Iron Brew or something like that. And if it's actually pretty good, even though I know that I can make more money by ruining it and making it a Buckfast caster or something like that, I won't. No. So no, I'm totally in there. How did I learn to fix guitars? I just shite guitars. I bought crap guitars and learned by myself. Never did anything. Daniel, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. And then I built a guitar. Actually, I was talking to my pal the other night about this. Jack White, he's a Scot actually, and it's Jack White, and he made an electric guitar, and it might get loud video. You know, it was like, it wasn't really an electric guitar. He had a plank of wood, a bottle, a string, a tuning peg, and a Fender pickup. And he's like, there's a guitar, and I was like, yeah, right. Well, I don't want a plank of wood with a string going over a bottle and a pickup, but how much more effort is it to take a crap neck and build a body out of wood for using just crap parts and make the Malco-caster, which I've still got. And I did that. Yeah, it took me an afternoon of fun making it, and it was fucking brilliant. Like, what the? But none of the parts were good. But see, when you assemble it properly, which I didn't really know what it was doing. I mean, I chiseled out the neck pocket. Hey, Neon, right, I'm sorry. Could you talk amongst yourself a minute? I need to go for a piss. I think this might be the first time. It's because I've been drinking that cider. I need to go for a piss, so I'll be back in a couple of seconds. I could play some music, but I can't, so you'll just have to talk amongst yourself. But I really need a piss. I'm trying to be quiet. Oh, see, that's what happens when I drink cider. Or anything other than Bucky. I can handle a whole bottle of Bucky without going to the toilet. Yeah, sorry, let's catch up. So we're talking amongst themselves because I went for a pee. Yeah, totally. So top of this, that's a great film. I don't know what it was. Think about a Chinese one from that, especially Paul Gilbert's Fireman looks good. I would like an original Iceman. It would have to be an 80s Japanese because I mean that's basically how I'm basically collecting 80s Japanese guitars now. Occasional forays out 80s Japanese. Oh, you're right, but there's a bought off spec. There's a thin cheese board with no character. All right. An original Destroyer. You don't get a cheap one. I do actually have an original Destroyer. Well, a 1985 X Series Destroyer, which I should really spend more time on it. I have a classic vibe telly I traded for an amp with a £300 of it. Couldn't sell it for 300. Yes, Stratocaster one. That's the problem with the upgrade thing, though. Upgrading, you've got to keep it. If you're ever going to sell things, I know that. I mean, when I sell guitars and it's like, it's got a Seymour Duncan pickup. That's how I got the pickups for that. Because I knew that a lace sensor and an original 74 Strat pickup is not adding any money to a cheap Strat. But they're worth a lot of money, so I would put in, I've just got a box of shit. I did wash my hands. Look. I even closed both doors and then peed not into the water, into the sort of side of the bowl to try and make sure you couldn't hear me. Neon Tetragon you're talking about. I was actually, yeah. I don't know if I should tell you. I was talking to your wife. But that's the end of that. Yep. Yeah. That bathroom's not minging at all. You shut up fast. Do I still have my Aria Les Paul bass? Get back to normal. The PE 1500, PB 1500. Yes, I do. That's what I'm saying. It's like when I'm talking about looking for a guitar, you turned up the sound. You're creepy, Macaroon. Really? This is why I didn't go for a jobby and it would have been plopping involved. Yeah. No. I do still have the PB 1500. I bought that in the Barras for a pure insane amount. I still feel guilty about it. My guy called Jim, who's lovely, fixes watches most of the time. Kind of feel a bit guilty that now the Blitzkrieg shop is kind of at the other end of the Barras, and I'm kind of dealing with him because I did like Jim. He was brand new. I even showed him. I took him in a Buckfast caster one time, just because I was selling it or I was going somewhere with it. I was like, "You better see this. This is what I build with the guitars." Lovely guy, and I saw this Les Paul bass. This is pre knowing what anything was, right? I did have that. I don't think I had anything else. No, I maybe had the Washburn Falcon. That and the Washburn Falcon were my only Japanese vintage guitars of the era that I now own. And it was, it fucked up the bridge. He's like, up here looking at it, and I was like, what's that? I could see it through neck, Les Paul shaped. What's that? And he's like, up here. What do you think? And it was like, up here, I fucked up. There's something wrong with the bridge. You know what I mean? He doesn't put strings on the wrong way, and it was like kind of the saddles were kind of falling off. Basically, what it was the bridge was a bit curved. I was looking at it, and I was like, up here, right? Okay. So up here, this might be one of those. I've heard of this Matsumoku, and it actually says on the headstock by Matsumoku. Like, up here, right? Okay. Through neck, Les Paul bass. Up here, right? Give me a minute. So I stood. This is in the Barras, so I was like to smoke. So I started looking at it like a fag, like up here. Like I don't really. I know you don't get very many Les Paul basses. My pal had an Epiphone one. He paid like 300 quid for it. That's got to be better than that. It's through neck and all that. Right. He wanted £95 for it. I was like, up here, right. I started to spoke to the fag and looking at it, going through my head, going, I'll play it and maybe I'll try and make it work. Because at this point I knew how to fix guitars. I'll make it work. And it's like, I'm sure I'll get like, I must get, minimum I'll get 200 quid for it. If I tried to sell it on, if I don't like it, all right, fuck it. So that'd be 95 quid, that'd be right. I'll give you 85 quid for it. And it was like, yeah, aye, is that right? Wait here. And I ran to Morrison's, which is just about 200 yards away, got the cash at the cash machine, gave him the money and took it home. And that's my Aria PB 1500, which is the SB 1000. Arias go in order of the higher the number, the more expensive they are. The SB 1000, not 1500, 1000 is the one that the guy John Taylor and Duran Duran plays, and they look them up. People know about them. That's only a 1000. This is 1500. It's 1.5 times as good. I got it for 85 quid. It's amazing. Oh, that's the thing. It's like, oh, the only guitar I need is a Les Paul Junior TV Yellow. I do really like, but the thing is, I'm not going to pay for it. Yes, I would love a TV Yellow. The double cut. Les Paul Junior TV Yellow. You didn't say double cut. Probably the double cut over the single cut. With the single cut as well, with P90s in it. Yes, I would have one of them, but I am not going to pay the amount of money they cost because I have this, which is miles better than a Les Paul Standard. If it was cheaper than I paid for this, I would totally buy it. There is no way I will ever find one cheaper than I paid for this. The TV Yellow, though, yeah, totally. I totally dig it. But the only way I'm ever going to get one of them, even if it's fucked, but I can repair it, it's going to be more expensive. It's going to be 2 or 3 times the price of any guitar I've ever bought. So, no, I can't. Looks like age off. A German headstock on this. This is before the stock. Is it before? See the original Ibanez and the Japanese things? They're shaped like a sword thing. If you think about it, you've seen it before. I'm sure the Gamorrean guards in Star Wars have it. There is a pike thing, like a pole with a blade on the end of it. That's this exact shape, and that's what that is. If you look at it, you know the thing I mean. You know, it's like the thing for that's where a lot of the headstocks for the Japanese guitars came from. Apart from these ones, which are obviously that's obviously a hockey stick. But you know, some of the other ones, you know, you can totally. How can that be anything other than a hockey stick? Yeah, that's named after, and I can totally picture the actual blade that it came from. Same with the Yamaha Samurai. So yes, I would pay. The problem with the Les Paul, either double cut or single cut, TV Yellow though, yellow fucking guitars. Oh yeah, I painted my Westtone Concord yellow. Can you do a video in all of your areas? I can. It's a bit. It's sickening. That's what I'm saying is there's not really any I don't have that I want. Areas, I have done a video. I haven't done a video with all of them because I haven't done a video since I got the ZZ Blade Runner. Arias, the PB 1500 Les Paul bass, the matching prototype PE 600 guitar, the Rock Device bass with a double P bass pickup, this fucking stupid pickups on it, the Rock Device, the guitar that matches it, the Thor Sound TSB Standard, the Thor Sound with the bass, and then the Thor Sound guitar that I put P90s in, the Urchin, think that's it for it. So that's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could do the whole wall on an aria video. I have sold a few arias, though. I've just kept the ones that I can't bear to part with. All Matsumoku, all Japanese, all amazing, all untouchable, irreplaceable, all on the ZZB and the Z. Oh fuck no, 7. I got to 7 without mentioning the ZZB and the ZZ Blade Runner. 9. See, it's fucking silly. It gets silly, and I've obviously forgotten about one as well. But that's what I'm saying about it. There's not. I've kind of bought all the ones I want. It's like we're really talking about. I'm not sure the BC Rich Warlock. I would quite like a BC Rich Warlock, but I don't think they made them when I want them. I think the Warlock came out after they were Japanese, when they got the quality went to a quarter. They're still worth fucking hundreds of money, but I don't think you get an NJ Japanese Nagoya Warlock. I'd quite like a BC Rich base. One of the bases, Stealth, Eagle, Wave, Mockingbird, but it's got to be a Japanese one. The ones after it are a quarter as good, so what's the point? No, the Starcaster is ugly as fuck. It's in that I don't have a Jaguar, I don't have a Jazzmaster, and I don't have a Jazz bass. I don't like the look of them. And the Starcaster is very much a sort of 335 version of that offset thing. Nah, you know what I mean? I do like the Mustang shape, but I'm not buying. I don't want. Maybe but I think even then, it's almost comes to like, I've got the Music Master bass, so a Music Master guitar would be nice, but they're like £1,000 and shit. Fuck that. They're not. They were originally really cheap. I like yellow guitars and yellow people too. Go because yeah, totally. I don't know. See, I'm mega racist because I had friends at school who were Chinese, or I don't even think of them as being any different, which is obviously not the ultimate sign of not being racist. But it's like, just because I'd never really known any close pals who were black, it's like there's not. I don't think white people are better than black people, but there's a little bit of an element up here. It's a wee bit strange. But I don't know, quite exotic. Whereas Chinese people, because I people I went to school with, I don't notice. You know what I mean? Same with like Indians, I don't really notice because I kind of know some of them, and it's like, right, doesn't mean anything. It's only because it's exotic and I don't know it. I don't know. But it's like, I'm not. So clearly, I'm not racist, even though I'm worried about being racist. But I'm not. Your vintage Zip is yellow with a silver. Mine, the one I've got, used to be yellow, but it's been butchered. It's still got the silver sparkle back. Where were you in Tone Wars? Tone Wars. Hey, Joseph, I totally grudge the price of an Epiphone, but the thing is, you can get much, much better guitars than an Epiphone, than any Epiphone. You've just got to look at it. It's a shame that arseholes like me are online, but just kind of ruined these for you. And the Washburn I showed you there, and things like this. It's like, because I mean, right, this is let's just be honest. This is a Stratocaster, right? This is a Stratocaster. And to get a better Stratocaster than this, you're at the Fender Custom Shop, straight up. And they're not that cheap, but you are talking, I don't know, what, 4 or 5, you're talking Mexican money. And it's like, but the Mexicans worth more money because they're not as good. They're kind of disappointing. I'd struggle with any modern guitar because I'm comparing it to this and that. Fucking that. You know, these are things that are made. That is as an absolute. These three are absolutely no expense spared. What's the best guitar we can build, humanly possible, or those 5 is what they are. Whereas you don't get to that stage if you're looking at American Strats or they're not building the best guitar that's possible. Do you know what I mean? I mean, even though I've got my SG and my Japanese, they're built to a price, and so they don't. Those are built as what's the best guitar we can possibly build is what they are. I pointed to this. That was the best guitar I could build out of a bit of kitchen worktop and a Yamaha Pacifica neck. Yes, but it's like there's no, kind of it's fucked up. Offsets don't do it. And me, I tolerate a jazz bass. I don't mind. I mean, see, I've actually got Scots jazz bass, which is not hard to pick up. I really quite like that. I mean, what he paid for it, I mean, fuck. You know, I mean, he got it in a charity shop. I'm totally ruining the fact that I'm going to, well, no, you're going to buy it anyway, but it's a ridiculous. But the thing is, I wish I'd bought it. And it's a pure, but let's be honest here, would I have kept it? Would I fuck? I would have sold it because I know it's worth more than what I think it's worth. Because I mean, I bought like a Washburn Force 4 bass last week on eBay for 90 quid or a couple of weeks ago. And it's like, is it better than that? I said, fuck, jeez, of course it's not. Thank God. So I mean, it's like, it's worth more money. It's totally worth more money. It totally is. Is it better? No. Is my Washburn Force 4 bass at 90 quid, is it a better bass than a USA standard bass? Yeah. And they're like 1,200 quid. Yeah. It's better. Is it worth as much money? Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Oh, no. Is it better? Yeah. But it depends what you like. It's like what something's worth. That's how I started in the Jap. The thing is that I got with the Korean stuff's amazing. Like that I was talking about earlier on about my first Hondo. Fantastic guitar. But it was only a little bit more when I started getting into the Japanese stuff. And for a little bit more, and we're talking about, 20, 30, 40 quid. You're still talking about under 100 quid for a lot of these things. Okay, well. Okay, none of these were under 100. Oh, that average under 200 sort of thing. Yeah, okay. Average under 300, right? Because the second most expensive guitar I ever bought was that one. The most expensive being my Schecter bass. So the lower than that, difficult. And that's what it was basically for me. It was quality, and then because the quality thing started really coming in, it became, hold on, if I buy makes that aren't ones so we look up Burney and Greco Les Pauls from the same era as these, which are built to a much lower standard than what these are. Or more expensive. They're fucking $2,000 for that because people know about them. Nobody knows about these. Night, Jess. I'm about to give up anyway. I'm quite drunk. Oh, what's your favourite guitar, Malco? That one you would never sell? See, that's the problem. I've got so many that I would never sell. I mean, that's my Gibson SG. I have played other SGs, much more expensive SGs, but this one's mine. It's also being red, just a little bit different. See, what my top 10 guitars, Stratocaster, which is, it's going to just continue. I'm going to have to do this. I think I'm actually past 10. It's like I can't beat it. My favourite guitar, which I've said before, is that one. Because it's everything. I just need that and an amp, preferably a battery one, and Mad Max times. And I will be the guy on the bungee with the flames and all that from Mad Max Fury Road. If you've not seen Mad Max Fury Road, watch it again. Because I watched it when it came out and thought, yeah, it's all right. It's not as good as Mad Max 2, obviously. And then I watched it 6 months ago, and it was like just watching it on the sort of slightly bigger screen in high quality, not a pirate, and it's like, fuck, Mad Max Fury Road is the best, when I say recent, within 10 years film there has been. It's fucking amazing. And it's like, if it had been about at the same time as Mad Max 2, RoboCop, Total Recall, I would have watched it as many times. I'm going to watch that tonight, actually. Mad Max Fury Road, and I'm the guy playing this bass. Once all the oil's run out and we're all a desert, that through like a big, massive fucking speaker stack. That's the one. And I try and ruin everything with a cover to end it. I've been on for nearly 3 hours. And cheers for sticking about. I am just talking shite now, but I do really love this, the Sunday night live stream. It's amazing. You guys are all fucking awesome. I think I'm going to do, I don't think Scott is still here, but that video of us just arguing about what was on Facebook Marketplace, I think I want to do a bit more of that, because that was really easy to do. The new Batman is amazing. Is it? Right? I don't know if it's on my pirate site yet. I did see a thing on Facebook that was someone saying it was like a shot of Batman sitting looking over Gotham, and it was like, pure, at last they've got Gotham as dingy as looking right, and it was basically just Glasgow. You've seen in some of my videos, when I was buying the kebab and stuff like that. That was the bit where they filmed. I've not seen it yet, but yeah. So Glasgow is Gotham. In fact, we're talking. Oh, wouldn't that be fucking amazing? Really only talking about 200 yards away from the Blitzkrieg shop, which has a Mad Malco Guitars neon sign. If that's in Batman, yeah. It doesn't look that does it? It does kind of look quite Gothamy at that point. It's only a couple hundred yards away from it. And that's not something they would cut out, because you could have had that in Gotham. You could have Mad Malco Guitars in Gotham. Wouldn't that be fucking amazing? It's like, here you go. It's like, oh, why would I want a Mad Malco guitar? It's in fucking Batman. Look. That's it. The thing is, if I play a cover, I might get hit with a copyright strike, which I did for Fearless. Can you imagine I get hit with Fearless? Really? I was like, that sounds a bit distorted. Oh, no, it's not. Above the air, beneath the brown graves, and of coral caves, the echo of the distant train. More to the point, I can't remember the words. I'll wing it. Can't possibly get a strike for this. If you go chasing rabbits, and you know where to go, and it makes you smaller than the running thing at all. Go ask Alice what you might be told. Smoking hula from the ground, and one pill makes you smaller, and the other makes you tall. Those letters that you take today, but the man in chapters just run fire. If you've got some kind of mushroom, so hopefully I mangled that beyond. I can play it properly. Hopefully I mangled that beyond what was YouTube algorithm wise. I'm playing that at download. Tron Porn became Gotham Porn. Really? Tron Porn? They didn't change it to Gotham Porn? Yeah. I've been there in a couple of videos. I was going to say I've not even finished my bucky, but I was drinking cider, which panned me out a little bit. I'm in the mood for a drunk jam. Well, everyone goes out. What are we trying to... have we got a clean? Would you have a clean? We're on clean. Here we go. There is a danger in asking me to play the Blazing Saddles. The coil of lead gets stuck around the knob, which changed the pattern there, so that can't be clean. It's not okay. He rode a blazing saddle, he wore a shining star. He fought for battles, to bad men and conquered fear and he conquered hate. He turned dark night into day. He rode a blazing saddle, a torch to light the way. Oh, when outlaws rode the west and fear gripped the land, they're coming out for a man with guts to take their Christ in hand. And a man who was brave and true was justice for all as his name. Then out of the sun rode a man with a gun, and Bart was his name. Yes, Bart was his name. He rode a blazing saddle, he wore a shining star. His job to offer battles to bad men near and far. Made an Ibanez blazer, he painted a stupid color. Then he sang on YouTube while he drank his breakfast. Thanks, everyone. Love you all, man. Fucking great. And yes, I got super drunk again. So if anyone stayed to this point, well, there's still 17 folk of you. 17 nutters. Love you all. In fact, I love everyone who joins in. Amazing. Thanks very much. Need a big punk road finish. I don't know punk. Oh, I should know punk, shouldn't I? Oh, what's that riff? I can't remember it. If anyone was watching Justin Hawkins, what was the band called? I can't even remember what the band was called. It was an Australian band with a girl singer. And it's the best riff I've heard ever. When I say ever, I mean this year. It's like, I wish I could put it on. Neon, you suck it out. Yeah, give me a shout. Need to sort it out. As I said, I was talking to some dodgy stuff going on there. But I've been drinking, so none of it matters. It's just like, would it protect me out into the country? No. It's the fucking best. Honestly, it's the best riff I've heard. And since Baby Metal did Papaya. That's Papaya. Rock and roll. Cheers, Stevie Mac and the one and Mr. White and Jeff and Stratocaster and John Johnson and Neon Tetrine and Andy. Cheers, and Daniel. I hope you're getting over your COVID soon. I had it, and it was bad, but I mean, only when you try and do shit. Watching some dick on YouTube playing the guitar, is probably hopefully his freaking spell checker. Tone. It's like, it's ash. It's ash and maple and probably ash, and it's like the cable, although it looks like it's made out of rubber, it's actually made out of premium mahogany. I love you all. Thanks so much for this, man. I mean, it's fucking great. It's fantastic. Smashing. And now, rock on. Some interesting shit coming up during the week. Can't remember what any of it is, but it'll be good. Catch you later. And rock and roll.